Chapter 686. The Dragonization Fruit Tree? Is it really the Dragonization Fruit Tree? It's such a precious plant, yet that existence who achieved world creation with a single thought didn't plant it in his personal space? Hearing Venerable Master Yuan Ri's exclamation, Venerable Master Tsongjin immediately rushed forward. Venerable Purple Sky and Venerable Wu Fa, two almighty beings who had some understanding of the Dragonization Fruit Tree, also quickly followed. Did we find a treasure? Tsing Hui had obviously never heard of this item before, but he still quickly went forward, arriving in front of the Dragonization Fruit Tree that had made Venerable Master Yuan Ri and Venerable Master Tsongjin lose their composure. This Dragonization Fruit Tree wasn't very tall, and some parts of it even appeared a little withered and yellow, as if it was half dead. At this time, it bore fruits, but they were mainly greenish-yellow, like spoiled oranges. They didn't look like precious treasures of heaven and earth at all. At least, compared to the limitless Tao fruit that Tsing Hui had previously consumed, it was far inferior. This Dragonization Fruit Tree should have only been a seedling when it was planted. Even the world creation expert who planted this Dragonization Fruit Tree didn't expect it to survive. It's because of this that it wasn't transplanted into the world of the world creation expert. It's a pity that although this cave can be considered quite good, it's been abandoned all these years. Without anyone to maintain it, the spirit chi environment inside has naturally fallen by a large amount. Even though this Dragonization Fruit Tree is extremely tyrannical in absorbing all the nutrients in this entire medicinal field, it still can't maintain its normal growth. As a result, it has now grown into an almost deformed existence, and the fruits it's forced to bear haven't reached the level of a true Dragonization fruit. Venerable Master Yuan Ri and Venerable Master Tsongjin looked at this Dragonization Fruit Tree, and couldn't help but lament its fate. It's fortunate that this Dragonization Fruit Tree wasn't transplanted into the world of the world creation expert. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for us to obtain such a harvest today. Therefore, we shouldn't feel disappointed, but rather rejoice. Venerable Wu Fa, who had followed the two, said with a smile. Haha, Reverend Wu Fa is right. We should be rejoicing. Even though this Draconification Fruit Tree has only produced 6 Draconification fruits, and they cannot be said to be perfectly ripe, these 6 Draconification fruits are enough to make our trip worthwhile. Master Tsongjin laughed heartily. He went forward and plucked the Dragonization fruits one by one. Then, he put them away with great care. What's so special about the Dragonization fruit? Tsing Hui asked. The Dragonization fruit is the most important resource for cultivating the divine true body. When Venerable Master Yuanri saw Venerable Master Tsongjin accept the Dragon Transformation fruit, he was in a good mood. When he heard Tsing Hui's question, he quickly explained, Tsing Hui, with your current strength, you can be said to be the strongest among the divine saints. You should have heard of the 4th step of the divine stage, the divine true body, right? Of course. Tsing Hui had heard Venerable Master Tsongqiong say before, this stage requires one to merge the soul of a divine beast with one's body. From there, one can transform into a divine beast or divine beast. Not only will one's battle strength soar, but one's lifespan will also be greatly extended. It's almost as if one's own divine beast or divine beast will have the same amount of lifespan. That's right. The divine true body indeed allows a cultivator to transform into a true divine beast. However, there are 2 difficulties for a cultivator to transform into a true divine beast. The first difficulty is similar to the golden core stage. It requires a sufficient amount of energy. The second difficulty is that after accumulating enough energy, the essence of one's life will undergo a transformation. Compared to divine beasts and divine beasts, the life level of us humans is still too weak. On the side, Venerable Master Tsongjin, who had put away the Dragonization fruit, also sighed with emotion. Not to mention those divine beasts that were born with the fortune of heaven and earth and the laws of nature. Even some divine beasts have a higher life level than us humans. They also don't cultivate and rely on natural growth. Any mature divine beast has the ability to torture and kill humans. If it weren't for this divine beast bloodline cultivation system passed down from ancient times, not to mention conquering this vast territory and occupying the most prosperous heaven wasteland domain, I'm afraid that the threat brought by the divine beasts would be enough to completely destroy our human race. It's said that in ancient times, we humans were only food for these powerful creatures. A golden rock could devour a city of millions of humans in a day. Humans in that period lived in precarious situations and were at the bottom of the food chain. Their lives were filled with darkness, despair, and fear, unlike now when Tsing Hui heard Venerable Master Tsongzhen and Venerable Master Yuanri's words. His gaze immediately fell on the dragonization fruit tree that had been completely plucked. Venerable Master, you mean that the dragonization fruit produced by this dragonization fruit tree can allow one to directly undergo a life shift when enough energy is accumulated, allowing one's life essence to rise to the level of a divine beast or even a divine beast? That's right. A creature that has completed the life shift is basically no different from a divine beast or a divine beast. Venerable Master Tsongzhen nodded heavily. However, after a moment, he said again, "Of course, in terms of life essence, a cultivator is actually at the level of a divine beast. Only after completing the first life shift in the awakening realm can one barely reach the level of a divine beast. Therefore, it's almost impossible to jump to the level of a divine beast in one go, even if one has the dragonization fruit. Tsongzhen, don't forget that Tsing Hui is a cultivator of a supreme divine ability. Without the dragonization fruit, if a cultivator wants to complete the life shift, they have to rely entirely on unearthing their own innate divine ability. Only by completely dissecting the divine ability to the extreme and tracing back to its origin can one touch the little bit of spiritual light that leaked out from the source and form an opportunity for a peak void-shattering expert to fuse their physical body and the soul of a divine beast to condense a divine true body, transforming into a divine beast and stepping into the fourth level of the divine realm. As a cultivator of a supreme divine ability, if Tsing Hui can really trace back to the source of the supreme divine ability and obtain the spiritual light that leaked out from the source of the supreme divine ability, coupled with the mysterious power of the dragonization fruit, he can completely complete the life shift twice and transform into a true divine beast. Venerable Master Yuanri said with a smile. Right. I forgot that even with the dragonization fruit, a cultivator who cultivates an ordinary divine ability has less than 1% chance of condensing a divine beast true body. But if it's a cultivator of a supreme divine ability like you, Tsing Hui, if you let your own accumulation reach the limit, trace back to the source of the supreme divine ability, and supplement it with the dragonization fruit, I'm afraid there's a 70 to 80% chance of condensing a divine beast true body. Trace back to the source of the supreme divine ability and find the opportunity for the life shift from the source. Tsing Hui was a little stunned. Divine ability? He didn't seem to have studied his divine ability in depth at all, not to mention dissecting all the mysteries of the divine ability and cultivating it to perfection. Moreover, the divine true body realm required the fusion of a divine beast's soul and physical body. His divine beast soul had long been refined into the scarlet abyss sword. Could it be transforming the scarlet abyss sword into a divine beast true body? Tsing Hui, move this dragonization fruit tree into your personal space and try to see if you can grow it. If you can grow it, you'll be sought after even in the endless starry sky. After all, the dragonization fruit has the mysterious ability to promote one's life essence by one level. And with the promotion of one's life essence, not only will one's lifespan be extended, The bottlenecks encountered when cultivating the body tempering technique will also be greatly reduced. Venerable Tsongjen said, "The dragonization fruit tree's requirements for the environment are too harsh. Growing it is too difficult. Moreover, using the dragonization fruit to extend one's lifespan and increase the potential of the body tempering technique is simply a reckless waste of natural resources. I remember that even if the dragonization fruit can extend one's lifespan, it can only extend one's lifespan by 1 or 2,000 years, right? As for the potential of the body tempering technique, what's the use of increasing it by 1 or 2 levels?" Venerable Master Yuan Ri shook his head. "Haha, just because we can't grow this dragonization fruit tree doesn't mean that Tsing Hui can't either. Tsing Hui is in existence who can cultivate the sovereign golden core. Growing a dragonization fruit tree requires much more vitality than cultivating the sovereign golden core. I remember seeing a joke passed down from ancient times. A supreme existence of the reigning realm was unable to grow a dragonization fruit tree even after spending all his fortune. Under normal circumstances, a reigning realm expert is much richer than a great existence who can create a world with a thought," Venerable Master Yuan Ri said with a smile. The others deeply agreed with Venerable Master Yuan Ri's words, but Tsing Hui's heart moved when he heard it. Perhaps he could really give it a try. At that moment, he stepped forward and quickly moved the dragonization fruit tree into his personal space. He directly planted it in a pile of spirit crystals, intending to see the effects first. A reigning realm expert is richer than a being who can create a world with a thought? I remember that in terms of battle prowess, a person who can create a world with a thought is many times stronger than a reigning realm expert. It is said that the gap between a reigning realm expert and a reigning realm expert is even greater than that between an almighty being and a golden core realm expert. How can there be a situation where a reigning realm expert is richer than a reigning realm expert? Yulan asked after hearing everyone's conversation. A world with a thought. For a divine realm expert, this is the strongest realm, but at the same time, it is also the weakest realm. Venerable Master Yuan Ri sighed with emotion. Spatial crystal stone? Tsing Hui looked pensive. Venerable Master Yuan Ri nodded. A world with a thought is somewhat similar to the prominent divine realm. However, a prominent divine realm expert is unable to bear the burden of manifesting his battle physique, while a world with a thought is unable to bear the burden of his own world. Alright, let's talk about it later. Let's hurry inside and see if there are any other good things. Venerable Master Tsongjen reminded everyone. At that moment, everyone stopped talking and maintained sufficient vigilance as they slowly explored the interior. After passing through the barren and empty medicinal field that had been devoured by the dragonization fruit tree, the group once again saw a huge palace. As they explored the palace one by one, they soon explored more than half of the cave. However, they found that most of the materials were materials, and most of them were 12th grade and 13th grade. There was a large amount of 14th grade materials. In addition, they also found 2 pill rooms. Unfortunately, with the passage of time, the many spirit pills and miraculous medicines in the pill rooms had almost all lost their effectiveness. If they rashly consumed them, they might turn into a highly toxic substance that passed through the intestines. Seeing this, everyone felt that it was a pity and wished they were born 9,000 years earlier. Chapter 687. From the looks of it, the world of this person who achieved world creation with a thought is not small. He did not leave anything particularly valuable in his cave abode. So far, the only thing that could be considered a great harvest is the 6 half-finished dragonization fruits on the dragonization fruit tree. Venerable Yuan Ri put away a 16th grade divine weapon in his hand into his personal space. Although the material of this divine weapon had reached 16th grade, due to the corrosion of time, the divine weapon's spirituality and charm were no longer the same as before. At best, it could only display the power of a 14th grade or even 13th grade divine weapon by relying on the material. This kind of power could be considered astonishing, and many Saint Stage powerhouses would be quite fond of it. However, compared to the cave abode of a world creation expert, it was still lacking. These harvests are already not bad, especially the ones from the dragonization fruit tree. You have to know that unless it's a world creation expert who knows that he is nearing the end of his life and deliberately left behind his inheritance, which world creation expert wouldn't leave their most precious things in the world they created? And the worlds that one creates will often collapse along with the fall of the great existence that creates worlds with a single thought. Therefore, these gains are not too bad. The only regret is that we did not find any strange items that can significantly increase one's strength. Venerable Tsongzhen was very open-minded. The dragonization fruit tree can let one's life undergo a transition. However, although we have 6 dragonization fruits, they are obviously half-finished. If one wants to truly undergo a transition, I'm afraid that one will have to consume 2 or even 3 dragonization fruits. In other words, the dragonization fruit can only be consumed by 2 people. The dragonization fruit can only increase one's life level, enhance the potential of the physical body, and extend one's lifespan. For non-vacuum shattering experts, it won't increase one's strength. Venerable Yuan Ri's brows were tightly knitted. It won't increase one's strength? Tsongzhen the Venerable looked at Tsing Hui and said, "That's not necessarily true. I remember talking to Tsing Hui in the past. He once said that the biggest problem that restricted the power of his swordsmanship was his physical strength and the material of his heavenly weapon. The problem of the material of his heavenly weapon has been solved with the improvement of his spiritual power and the optimization of his swordsmanship. Now, the most important thing is the strength of his physical body. Tsing Hui, if we let you eat 3 dragonization fruits and let you complete a leap in your life level, will you?" Qing Su knew what the Zongzhen monk wanted to say. He shook his head in some pity. "When the time comes, I'll be able to be even faster, and I'll be able to use even more sunburst swords. However, ripping open the chaos world requires an instantaneous burst of power, not a stacked attack. As a result, even if my life has undergone a jump and my body has become even more powerful, ripping open the chaos world is still not enough." After saying that, Tsing Hui already had the idea of developing a new swordsmanship based on the Sword of the Sun burst. It simulated the internal power of the sun. And then, it would be the eruption of the sun. Or it would be the terrible blow that erupted when the sun died? When a star died, it would be transformed into a black hole that would devour everything. That kind of power, it had already exceeded the limits of his relatively simple knowledge on Earth. Unless he returned to Earth and studied it carefully with the physicists who specialized in black holes and perfected this theory, using swordsmanship to simulate a black hole devouring everything could only be an armchair strategist. Because of this, after creating the Sword of the Sun for so long and optimizing it time and time again, he still had no clue about the third sword of this swordsmanship. "It won't work," Tsongzhen the Venerable frowned. Tsing Hui nodded. After a while, he seemed to have thought of something. Suddenly, an extremely bold idea emerged in his mind. "Venerable, do we collect the blood of powerful divine beasts in Heaven Vault?" "No. I don't know if divine beasts can work for now. It's best if it's a sacred beast. The blood of a sacred beast in the divine realm. If possible, the blood of a 6th-level sacred beast would be the best." "The blood of a sacred beast in the divine realm?" Tsongzhen the Venerable thought carefully and said, "The upper limit of a sacred beast's growth is the divine realm. Generally speaking, most sacred beasts can only grow to the 3rd level of the divine realm, and only a few can break through to the 4th level. Fortunately, because of the special existence between sacred beasts and divine beasts, it's not too difficult to find the blood of a 6th-level sacred beast. We don't have the blood of a 6th-level sacred beast, but if we inquire carefully, we should be able to buy it. Good, it's best if it's a divine beast that is good at attacking. If we can find the blood of one of the 6 divine beasts, the white tiger sacred beast, that would be the best. Song Zhen the Venerable nodded. I'll remember it. Is the blood of these sacred beasts related to your rescue of Zhu Zhao and the others? I'll have to try to find out the specifics, Xinghui said. Well, after we go out, I'll order people to inquire and collect it. Song Zhen the Venerable's expression suddenly became solemn. While the group was talking, they had already stepped into another vast palace. However, this palace was different from the other palaces. The entire palace was 60 meters tall, and there were stone pillars with a diameter of more than 2 meters everywhere. The vastness of the palace exceeded the limit of everyone's eyesight. Even if the underground was dark and the stone pillars obstructed their vision, it was enough to judge that the largest diameter of the entire palace was more than 20 kilometers. They walked forward for a while, and soon Venerable Yuanri seemed to have noticed something. He suddenly looked to the side and asked, "Where's Reverend Purple Shao?" Reverend Purple Shao? Everyone was startled, and their expressions suddenly changed. Unknowingly, Reverend Purple Shao had already disappeared from everyone's sight. Everyone, be careful! Song Zhen the Venerable hurriedly shouted, "There's something strange about this palace." Almost at the same time as he shouted these words, the figure of Reverend Wu Fa, who had taken a step forward, distorted, and disappeared without a trace under the gazes of Xinghui, Venerable Yuanri, Song Zhen the Venerable, Yulan, and Xian Huang. What's going on? Quick! Everyone, gather together. Don't move around rashly. We seem to have entered a formation, Song Zhen the Venerable hurriedly said. Immediately, the 5 of them gathered together. Venerable Yuanri's gaze constantly scanned the surroundings, and he said with a grave expression, "It's not a formation. I can't see any traces of a formation in the entire palace. Could it be that the level of the formation is too high? After all, this is the abode of a mighty existence who can create a world with a single thought. It can't be. Even if it's a 15th level or 16th level formation, there are traces to be found. Even a mighty existence who can create a world with a single thought wouldn't go so far as to set up a 17th level or even 18th level formation inside his abode, right? You have to know that the higher the level of the formation, the more precious the materials used to set it up and the things used to suppress the formation's core. A 17th level formation is not a small burden even for a mighty existence who can create a world with a single thought. Unless it's a great mountain guarding formation, otherwise, even a mighty existence who can create a world with a single thought wouldn't easily set it up. Venerable Yuanri said in a deep voice. I don't sense any danger or murderous intent here, Xinghui said after carefully sensing the surroundings. In the end, he even used the aura examination technique to observe the surroundings. However, under the aura examination technique, the entire palace seemed incomparably normal. Even the weak flow of vitality in the surroundings followed the laws of nature, and there were no traces left behind by a formation. Then let's be careful, Venerable Master Tsongjin said, and the 5 of them moved again. However, this time, their forward speed had obviously slowed down by a lot, and they were extremely careful as they moved forward. But even so, when they were less than 100 meters away, Yolan's figure still became distorted, as if she would completely disappear in the next moment. Be careful! Qing Su called out and appeared beside Yulan as soon as possible. He grabbed her and tried to pull her back. But the moment he pulled Yulan, the shouts of Venerable Master Tsongjin and Venerable Master Tsongjin suddenly rang in his ears. Not good. Xinghui, quickly retreat. Before the shouts could be completely transmitted, they had already become undetectable. When Xinghui pulled Yulan and looked behind him, Venerable Master Tsongjin and Venerable Master Tsongjin had already disappeared. What's going on? Yolan's gaze constantly looked around. The palace was still the same palace. It was vast, spacious, and filled with silence. There were also densely packed stone pillars that were almost difficult to use as a reference. But compared to the 7 of them, only she and Tsing Hui were left now. I don't understand either. Although I have some understanding of formations, it's only at the level of a beginner. As Tsing Hui spoke, his gaze swept across the many stone pillars. Then, he muttered to himself, "Let's see if we can completely destroy this palace." After saying that, the scarlet abyss sword in his hand was already unsheathed. He didn't use the sword of sunlight, and only relied on the power contained in the scarlet abyss sword to fiercely slash at the stone pillar. However, his sword didn't cause any damage to the stone pillar. The heavy momentum and blazing power contained in the sword seemed to be swallowed by an invisible force and turned into nothingness. This, Tsing Hui slightly frowned. However, just as he was about to use his full strength to try slashing, a blazing and violent power had already erupted, exploding beside Yulan without any warning. Caught off guard, Yulan immediately activated her armor to defend herself. But even so, she was still shaken to the point of vomiting blood and was immediately sent flying. Where did this attack come from? Tsing Hui took a step forward and instantly appeared beside Yulan, quickly supporting her. However, Yulan waved her hand. Although she was in a somewhat difficult situation, her injuries were still within an acceptable range. However, what made her a little frightened was, just now, that was the power of Venerable Yuanri. Venerable Yuanri? Venerable Tsing Hui, we can't attack these stone pillars anymore. If I'm not wrong, these stone pillars have the ability to swallow our power and transfer the attack to the other people in the palace. In other words, our attacks will ultimately be borne by Venerable Yuanri, Venerable Zhangzhen, Dark Phoenix, Venerable Wufa, and Venerable Purple Sky. Hearing Yulan's words, Tsing Hui cautiously nodded. Moreover, according to my judgment just now, if I'm not wrong, we should have entered a spatial maze. Yulan said with a bitter smile. Spatial mazes are often used by the top experts of the ancient times to guard treasures. With a spatial maze, the value of the treasure won't be too low. But correspondingly, this is a spatial maze that can't be broken by anyone below the traversing realm. If our group wants to leave this maze, I'm afraid we can only rely on teleportation techniques. Moreover, this teleportation technique will most likely send us directly into a spatial mezzanine. Chapter 688. It's hard to break through unless you're in the traversing realm? Tsing Hui looked at the distorted space in front of him, and his expression suddenly became serious. Moreover, if we use the teleportation technique to escape, we'll fall into a spatial mezzanine? Only Saint Stage powerhouses can barely survive in the spatial mezzanine, and if they want to escape from it, they have to seize the opportunity and use the Heavenly Paradise Stone to explode and shatter the vacuum when they're close to the divine wilderness. But in our group, there's no real Saint Stage powerhouse. What's worse is that we've already used up all the Heavenly Paradise Stones on us. If we really fall into the spatial mezzanine, we'll only die. Yulan nodded bitterly. Opportunities and dangers often go hand in hand. The greater the opportunity, the greater the danger. A spatial maze is not difficult for traversing realm existences to break through, but for cultivators like us who haven't even reached the Saint Stage, it's a hopeless situation. Is there no other way to get out? For example, using a vacuum-shattering attack to forcefully tear apart this spatial maze? Yulan shook her head. The only thing we can rejoice about now is that although the spatial maze can interfere with space and distort it, it can't block the power of the Chaos Temple. Let's enter the Chaos Temple and discuss it with the Venerables. Tsing Hui immediately sensed the Chaos Temple. Although the spatial maze couldn't block the power of the Chaos Temple, Tsing Hui clearly felt that it was much more difficult to sense the Chaos Temple compared to the outside world. It was estimated that those cultivators below the immortality realm who had yet to awaken might not be able to sense the Chaos Temple. Fortunately, for Tsing Hui and the others who were already standing at the peak of the saint's stage, this kind of influence was nothing. Soon, everyone arrived in Tsing Hui's personal space. Tsing Hui, are you all right? When Master Tsongzhen saw Tsing Hui and Yulan, he immediately asked, just now we were suddenly attacked by Sword Qi, and Master Yuan Ri instinctively counterattacked. Later, we determined that it should be your attack. Through these changes, Master Yuan Ri has already deduced that we're now trapped in a spatial maze. This kind of maze is often set up by the top figures in ancient times to protect things that can't be brought into their personal space or their own world. Therefore, although we've found an extremely precious treasure, it's terrible that we're trapped in a spatial maze. Alas, the Chaos Temple without a temple master is too weak, Venerable Master Yuanri sighed. This kind of Chaos Temple operates by instinct. The power of the Chaos Temple can only radiate into the world we are in. It can even affect some open spaces or special places. Therefore, if we want to use the teleportation technique given to us by our identities as sons of chaos to escape this spatial maze, there is a 99% chance that we will fall into a spatial mezzanine. With our cultivation bases, if we really fall into a spatial mezzanine, we will definitely die. Chaos Temple, having a temple master and not having a temple master were two different concepts. It was like a large ship sailing in the vast sea. The difference between having a temple master and not having a temple master was like heaven and earth. The reason why the heavenly law, divine wilderness, and eternal wanted to clear the place was to eliminate the wills of the other children of chaos so that they could smoothly take control of the Chaos Temple and become its temple master. Unfortunately, due to various reasons, the three of them had been unable to truly cooperate wholeheartedly, so they hadn't had the time to clear the place. Is there no way to break the spatial maze? Tsing Hui asked with a frown. There's almost no hope of breaking the spatial maze. Fortunately, we're not really trapped in a spatial maze. If we can raise the teleportation technique to the 5th stage, we can rely on the power of the 5th stage teleportation technique to teleport out without being affected. We can use the teleportation technique. However, if we upgrade the teleportation technique to the 5th level, we'll waste at least 500 Taoist rhymes worth of Taoist rhymes. Moreover, even if we do that, only one person will be able to leave this place. Tsing Hui said. Master Tsongzhen and Master Yuan Ri looked at each other, but their gazes fell on Tsing Hui. It doesn't matter if we're trapped inside. The key is you, Tsing Hui. You must get out. Only with you in charge can our heaven's vault develop safely. Otherwise, when the people of the heavenly law know that you're also trapped here and can't move, not only our heaven's vault, but the entire four-sect alliance will face a disaster when Tao's sovereign primal chaos returns in 3 months. Wait a minute. Things haven't reached the most critical moment yet. Don't jump to conclusions too early. The spatial maze. There's no way out. Master Yuan Ri shook his head. If you want to get out of the spatial maze, you either have to cultivate to the 5th stage of the divine realm, which is the unhindered realm. This kind of person can ignore the spatial maze and violently penetrate it, or you have to cultivate the divine true body of the Kuan Pung bloodline. The divine beast Kuan Pung has a deep understanding of space. If you're a 4th stage divine realm expert who can transform into a Kuan Pung, you can rely on your understanding of space to get out of the spatial maze. Unfortunately, we don't even have a true divine realm expert, let alone someone who has cultivated the divine true body of the Kuan Pung. Master Tsongzhen nodded, his face full of sadness. When the other almighty figures heard Venerable Yuanri and the others say that only those who were at least at the 4th or 5th level of the Saint Realm would have any hope of leaving the spatial maze, all of them were extremely dejected, and their eyes were filled with pessimism. Tsing Hui was also somewhat unwilling. However, after this kind of unwillingness lasted for a while, he suddenly thought of something. Wait a minute. The divine true body of the Kuan Pung bloodline? Master, does the so-called divine true body of the Kuan Pung bloodline cultivator refer to the divine true body condensed from the fourth stage of the divine realm, or does it refer to the time when he can perfectly borrow the divine beast Kuan Peng's innate talent? This, Master Yuan rethought for a while. It should be referring to the divine beast Kuan Peng's spatial innate talent. The divine beast Kuan Peng's innate talent. Tsing Hui's eyes flashed slightly. Do you have the divine beast Kuan Peng's blood? The divine beast Kuan Peng's blood? If it's not blood essence but blood, I have it at the third stage of the divine realm. Master Tsang Zhen immediately spoke. I also have the divine beast Kuan Peng's blood, but its level is lower, only at the first stage of the divine realm. Yulan, who was beside Tsing Hui, also spoke. Then, let's give it a try. Reverend Tsang Zhen, Reverend Yuanri, don't act rashly. Although we are separated by the space maze, I believe that the distance between us isn't too far because no one is controlling it. I'll think of a way to get to you and get the blood of the divine beast Kuan Pung, which is at the third level of the Saint Realm. Tsing Hui, what are you going to do? Master Tsang Zhen's eyes lit up and he hurriedly asked. Impossible. Apart from the fourth stage divine realm existence who has fused the divine soul of the Kuan Pung with his body, no one can pass through the spatial maze. Master Yuan Ri shook his head. How do you know if you don't try? Tsing Hui said and left the Chaos Divine Palace. This is the Kuan Peng's blood. What are you going to do? After Yulan followed Tsing Hui out of the Chaos Divine Palace, she handed the Kuan Peng's blood to Tsing Hui. Because the current Tsing Hui was more than a little stronger than before, looking at the divine-level Kuan Peng's blood, he didn't feel as breathless as when he saw the torch dragon's blood for the first time. Taking the Kuan Peng's blood, he smiled and said to Yulan, "Don't be too surprised later." After saying that, he directly used the Kuan Peng's blood. Then, his gaze fell on the characteristic derived from the 50th stage of the Chaos Divine Realm, the transformation technique. However, before using the transformation technique, considering the tyrannical nature of the divine beast bloodline, Tsing Hui hesitated for a while, and then his gaze fell on the backtrack technique first, activating it. With the backtrack technique as a foundation, the transformation technique quickly operated. The next moment, his body began to distort and expand rapidly. Under Yulan's somewhat shocked gaze, he continued to grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. In the blink of an eye, he had transformed into a divine beast Kuan Pung that was over 100 meters tall and nearly 200 meters with a wingspan. When this behemoth transformed, it was reasonable to say that it would directly reach the top of the underground palace, which was only 60 meters tall. However, this underground palace seemed to contain a mysterious power. It actually grew as Tsing Hui's body grew. Even though he was already 100 meters tall, it seemed that he still couldn't touch the top of the palace. Kuan Pung! Kuan Pung! Divine beast Kuan Pung? Yulan, who was standing beside Tsing Hui, looked at Tsing Hui who had transformed into such a behemoth, her eyes filled with unprecedented shock. Not good. Transforming into a divine beast is too difficult. My life structure is about to collapse. Tsing Hui, who had transformed into the divine beast Kuan Pung, suddenly paled. However, he didn't have time to stop the transformation technique right away. Instead, he quickly swept his gaze around. In the shadow of the divine beast Kuan Pung, the space was no longer mysterious and ethereal. Instead, it had turned into lines and layers of gauze. Although he couldn't see too far, he could touch it. Relying on the divine beast Kuan Peng's transformation to support himself for a breath, his gaze instantly saw Master Tsang Zhen and Master Yuanri, who were separated by several layers of gauze, as well as Reverend Purple Sky and Reverend Wufa, who were not far away from them. Then, he tore with his sharp claws. He was clearly only at the first layer of the divine realm. Logically speaking, there was still a gap of 2 realms between him and the shattering vacuum technique. However, under his tearing, the space in front of him was like a fragile piece of paper, quickly splitting open, bang! The instant Tsing Hui tore apart the layer of space between himself, Master Tsangzhen, Master Yuanri, and Dark Phoenix, his life structure was finally unable to support the divine beast Kuan Peng's transformation and collapsed with a loud bang. The huge Kuan Peng's body instantly turned into a bloody mist, drifting away into the air. In the next second, under the incredulous gazes of Yulan, Master Tsangzhen, Master Yuanri, and Dark Phoenix, Tsing Hui's figure had already reappeared, directly landing in front of them. His expression was faintly unsightly. The first layer of the transformation technique is far from enough. This is, I seem to have seen a divine beast Kuan Peng just now. However, that divine beast Kuan Peng died in the blink of an eye after appearing. What happened? Looking at Qing Su, who had reappeared, even the knowledgeable monk Tsangzhen and monk Yuanri were dumbfounded. They felt like they were at a loss for what to do. Chapter 689. Tsing Hui, what happened just now? Master Tsangzhen looked at Tsing Hui and Yulan, who suddenly appeared in front of them, his eyes filled with surprise. Why is there a divine beast Kuan Peng? Yulan also immediately looked at Tsing Hui, waiting for his answer. After learning about the mystery of the dragonization fruit, Tsing Hui planned to use the transformation technique to try to tear open the chaos primordial realm. Hearing Master Tsangzhen's question, he didn't hide anything and directly said, "It's the transformation technique. With blood, it can transform people into blood-type creatures. It's a brand new characteristic derived from the chaos level reaching level 50. Level 50? Transformation technique? Master Tsangzhen, Master Yuanri, Xian Huang, Yulan, and the others couldn't help but exclaim. The 50th level was definitely an unprecedented level of chaos. Perhaps there had been people who had temporarily reached the 50th level in the heavenly Tao, eternal and divine wilderness, but no one from the Sky Dome realm had ever stepped into the 50th level of chaos. That's right, level 50. Master should know that I once had a chaos battle with Broken Sword. In that battle, I temporarily spent a large amount of Tao-carrying items to raise the chaos level to level 50 to be foolproof. From there, I learned the name of the characteristic derived from level 50. Didn't I get a Tao-carrying item with 1,500 Tao-carrying from the Black Flame sect not long ago? It just so happens that the problem we are facing now can't be solved without the divine beast Kuan Peng's talent. Therefore, I raised my chaos level again to see if I could transform into the divine beast Kuan Peng and use its talent to break the spatial maze. It turned out that it was effective. After saying that, a smile appeared on Tsing Hui's face. The transformation technique can actually let people transform into the divine beast Kuan Peng. It's really amazing. Tsing Hui, when you transformed into the divine beast Kuan Peng just now, did you have the confidence to break the spatial maze? Qing Su thought about what he had seen after he transformed into the divine beast Kuan Peng. Even though space had already been reduced to thin veils and streaks before his eyes back then, perhaps because his cultivation was too weak, the range he could see was extremely limited. It was probably less than 30 meters away. If he wanted to break through the spatial formation that could turn everything upside down with his vision, there was no hope at all. Wait a minute, are there any restrictions to this transformation technique? Why did I see the mythical Kuan Peng's body crumble and turn into a bloody mist as soon as it appeared? Then, I thought about how you asked me to collect as much blood of holy beasts as possible instead of mythical beasts. Is this transformation technique related to the strength of your life force and the strength of the transformed creatures? Just now, the Kuan Peng you transformed into collapsed and died. Was it because your life force couldn't support the transformation of the divine beast Kuan Peng? While Tsing Hui was silent, Master Tsangzhen seemed to have thought of something, and suddenly asked. Hearing his words, Venerable Yuanri, Yulan, and Xian Huang also calmed down a little. There must be a limit to such a powerful transformation technique. Otherwise, any cultivator would only need to push their chaos level to level 50 and transform into a powerful divine beast. Wouldn't they be invincible in the world? Why would they need to cultivate? After all, even a divine beast at level 1 of the divine realm was stronger than an ordinary expert. Master Tsongjin's guess is correct. There is indeed a limit to the transformation technique. The creatures that can be transformed and the duration of the transformation are related to the cultivator's level, strength, and life essence. I forcibly transformed into the divine beast Kuan Peng with my level 1 transformation technique, but you all saw the end result. I couldn't even hold on for a breath, and my body crumbled. If it weren't for the existence of the backtrack technique, I would have died by now. Xing Hui nodded. Life essence. Master Tsongjin looked at Xing Hui with bright eyes and said, if you were to consume the dragonification fruit and raise your life essence, would you be able to transform into the divine beast Kuan Peng again and break through the space maze? If you raise your life essence by 1 level, you should be able to maintain it for a long time. However, a level 1 divine realm Kuan Peng is clearly not enough to break through the space maze. Fortunately, Venerable Master has the blood of a level 3 divine realm Kuan Peng. When the time comes, you can give it a try. Can your body withstand it? Xing Hui smiled and said, the strength and duration of the transformation technique are related to the cultivator's strength, life essence, and the transformation technique's level. When my life essence is raised, the level 1 transformation technique won't be able to withstand the transformation of a level 3 divine realm Kuan Peng. At most, I will raise my primal chaos realm by 1 level to the 2nd level. If the 2nd level doesn't work, I will raise my primal chaos realm to the 3rd level. If the 3rd level doesn't work, I will raise my primal chaos realm to the 4th, 5th, or 6th level. Master Tsongjin knew that Xing Hui had extorted 1,500 years' worth of primal chaos realm items from the Black Flame sect. Therefore, he didn't doubt Xing Hui's claim that he could raise his primal chaos realm by 10 levels. There is no time to lose. Xing Hui, you should consume the dragonification fruit now. After all, every day we delay will consume 2 Taoist rhymes, right? Who will be able to endure it for a long time? Master Tsongjin said solemnly. In the end, he turned his gaze to the others and said, I plan to give the dragonification fruit to Xing Hui as much as possible. Since we discovered the dragonification fruit together, it is reasonable to say that each of us should have one. Therefore, I need to ask for your opinion. Master Tsongjin, you don't have to say much. Let Xing Hui consume the fruit as much as possible. We are currently trapped in this space maze. If it wasn't for Master Xing Hui, we would have been trapped to death or perished in the space maze. I have no objections to giving the dragonification fruit to Master Xing Hui to save our lives. Xian Huang said immediately. Master Yuanri nodded slightly and said, in order to save us, Master Xing Hui raised his primal chaos level to the 50th level. I'm afraid that he will need to raise his primal chaos level again. After the 45th level, he will need 2 Taoist rhymes for every day. It is definitely not something that an ordinary person can bear. At that time, Master Xing Hui's primal chaos level will fall. This is a loss of at least 1,000 Taoist rhymes. Compared to Master Xing Hui, we are only giving up the right to distribute the dragonification fruit. It is nothing. Yulan also nodded slightly and agreed with Master Yuanri and Master Tsongjin's suggestion. Seeing that no one had any objections, the Zhongjin monk immediately took out all the dragonification fruits he had plucked and passed them to Qing Su along with the blood of the Kuan Peng. All right, it's all up to you now. Xing Hui nodded seriously and said, then, I will consume the dragonification fruit to raise my life essence. Please do not move around casually during this period. Don't worry, Master Tsongjin said. Xing Hui did not waste any more time and directly took out a dragonification fruit and swallowed it. The dragonification fruit looked ordinary, but the mysteries it contained were many times better than the limitless Tao fruit. It completely brought out the hidden characteristics of a divine item to the extreme. When Tsing Hui swallowed the dragonification fruit, the energy inside directly penetrated into every corner of his body. He did not even need to refine it, but he could clearly feel that the vitality of his cells and acupoints had begun to increase greatly. He even faintly felt that this increase was not just a simple increase in the vitality of his cells, but also a change in his life imprint. While this change extended his lifespan, it also greatly increased his body's plasticity. In a day, after completely digesting the energy of the dragonification fruit, he immediately consumed the second one and then the third. When he had completely digested the energy of the third dragonification fruit, he could clearly feel that his life imprint seemed to have completed a miraculous sublimation. This sublimation was reflected on his physical body through the life imprint, causing the toughness and strength of his physical body to increase from the inside out. Although he did not know what the next step of the cultivation of the 9 transformations of the true dragon would be, he could clearly feel that the strength of his physical body had unknowingly broken through to the level of the true dragon realm. Unfortunately, in this world, the divine beast bloodline cultivation system was rampant. The strength of the true dragon realm's physical body could not be compared to that of a divine being. Even an almighty could easily kill him. Moreover, the divine beast bloodline cultivation system had reached the 4th level of the divine realm, the divine true body. Once the divine true body was cultivated, the divine beast, and physical body would merge into one, and one would be able to take the form of a divine beast or divine beast. Compared to slowly tempering one's physical body, how much faster would it be? This was also the reason why this world did not pay much attention to tempering one's physical body. On the 4th day, Tsing Hui stopped cultivating. On the one hand, the consumption of 10 Tao auras every day made his heart ache. On the other hand, no one knew what kind of danger was contained in the spatial maze, so he could not continue to let Venerable Yuan Ri, Venerable Tsangzhen, and the others accompany him in the spatial maze. After feeling that it was about time, he naturally had to carry out the next step of his plan. Venerable Yuan Ri, Venerable Tsangzhen, Venerable Yuan Ri, Yulan, Xian Huang, in a while, I will transform into the divine beast Kuanping and pass through the spatial maze at the fastest speed. I'm afraid I won't be able to take care of you during this period, so for safety's sake, I'll put you in my personal space. Tsing Hui said. Venerable Yuan Ri and Venerable Tsangzhen looked at each other, and could not help but smile bitterly. I didn't expect us 2 old fellows would one day become a burden. Haha, you should be happy that we have a successor. Alright, Tsing Hui, don't worry, come. On the other side, Yulan and Xian Huang also nodded. Let Venerable Purple Sky and Venerable Wu Fa know. When the time comes, I'll directly put them in my personal space. After all, even if I raise the level of the transformation technique, I probably won't be able to last long if I want to transform into the divine beast Kuanping, which is at the 3rd level of the saint realm. I'll go, Venerable Tsangzhen said, and entered the Chaos Temple. During this time, Tsing Hui's gaze fell on the Chaos level that he had raised to the 64th level. When he thought that it would not be long before these chaos levels all fell because of the problem of not being able to make ends meet, he felt a little distressed about the Tao auras, the loss of a whole 1,000 Tao auras. This Taoist rhyme came quickly and left even faster. Unfortunately, in the current situation, he had no choice but to use them. Chapter 690. Tsing Hui focused his gaze, and his chaos level rose from level 64 to level 65. At level 65, he was not in a hurry to upgrade the transformation art. Instead, he looked at the characteristic pane, wanting to see what kind of new characteristic would be derived from level 65. If the characteristic was powerful enough, he might not need to waste 4 chaos levels on the transformation art. Chaos art. Xing Hui looked at the newly derived characteristic. It was named after chaos? At that moment, he focused his attention on this new characteristic. After a while, Xing Hui frowned. This characteristic designates a person to upgrade a certain characteristic by 1 level? The duration is related to the difference between the two's chaos level. The greater the difference, the longer the duration. The cooldown is the same as the transformation art and backtrack art. It's only 1 month. This characteristic did not seem to have any use. What would happen if someone was upgraded by 1 chaos level? Just as Xing Hui was about to turn his gaze to the transformation art, an idea suddenly flashed through his mind. Wait a minute. Can I use this ability on myself? If I use it on myself and upgrade the transformation art by 1 level, wouldn't I indirectly achieve the same goal? At the same time, I can also see if there are any other mysteries behind it. If he couldn't use it on himself, he might lose a primal chaos grade. But his primal chaos grade would drop anyway. At most, he would lose 100 Taoist rhymes worth of Taoist rhymes. With his current wealth, he could afford it. At that moment, he focused his gaze on the chaos art. After a while, a new characteristic appeared in his characteristic pane. Level 1. 1 month cooldown. I'll give it a try. If it works, I'll upgrade it to level 4. According to the shortening of the time interval between upgrading the backtrack art and transformation art, if I upgrade it to level 4, it'll only take 3 days. 3 days. I can afford to wait. With that thought, Xing Hui had already blessed himself with the chaos art. With the blessing of the chaos art, his transformation art did not have any hindrance and directly climbed to level 2. It works. Xing Hui's eyes lit up. However, after a while, he sensed the duration of the chaos art on himself and paused slightly. Only 10 breaths. It's not even as long as the divine art, 10 breaths. Time was too short. He didn't know if he could get out of the spatial maze in 10 breaths of time. Let's take a look. Second tier chaos spell. In the next moment, the chaos rank 65 continued to climb, directly jumping to the 66th rank. After the 66th step, Xing Hui once again added the primal chaos level to the primal chaos level, raising it to the 2nd level. However, after he figured out the effects of the Tier 2 chaos spell, he realized that he had been too naive. As expected, the Tier 2 chaos spell's cooldown had been reduced to half a month, and the number of people assigned to it had increased from 1 to 2. But that was all. It could not raise any of his attributes by 2 levels, and its duration did not increase at all. This primal chaos spell, Xing Hui sighed. There was indeed a price to pay for his reckless attempts. The Tier 2 chaos spell could only increase the number of targets from 1 to 2. It could not increase the transformation spell by 2 tiers. Xing Hui had no choice but to focus on the transformation spell again. The level of primal chaos rose again. 67th step, 68th step, 69th step. The transformation spell also rose to the 4th level as the level of primal chaos increased. 500 Taoist rhymes were squandered. Looking at the primal chaos spell that he had just used for his experiment and still needed half a month to cool down, and then looking at the transformation spell that had just been raised to the 4th level, Xing Hui had no choice but to raise the level of primal chaos by 1. Half a month. After the primal chaos level was raised to the 60th rank, it required 10 Taoist rhymes worth of items to carry Taoist rhymes every day. In half a month, it would be a total of 150 Taoist rhymes worth of items to carry Taoist rhymes. Therefore, he might as well spend 1 primal chaos level to raise the transformation spell, so as to avoid wasting 150 Taoist rhymes. With the disappearance of 100 Taoist rhymes worth of items, Xing Hui's primal chaos level rose to the unprecedented level of 70. Compared to not long ago, it was a full 11 levels increase. This meant that he would lose 1,100 Taoist rhymes. Moreover, the drop in the primal chaos level did not mean that the remaining items could last for 9 days. If he did not invest 10 Taoist rhymes in the primal chaos level in the following day, it would drop another level. In other words, it would only take 11 days for Tsing Hui's primal chaos level to drop from 70 to 59. Therefore, the level 70 primal chaos level in front of him was completely a pavilion in the sky, just for show. Level 70 Tsing Hui looked at the characteristic derived from the level 70 primal chaos level. As the primal chaos level increased, the characteristic derived from it would become more tyrannical and unreasonable. Therefore, even though the level 70 primal chaos level was just a pavilion in the sky to him, there was no harm in him understanding it in advance. Stagnation spell? Another characteristic that was born to target the sons of primal chaos? It can be used on any characteristic of its own, so that the next time it is used, it will not enter a cooldown period? The cooldown period is still 1 month. Tsing Hui stared at this characteristic for a moment, carefully weighing its usability. While the stagnation spell was in effect, he did not have to worry about cooldown periods when using teleportation. After using it once, he could use it again immediately. If he maintained a sufficient frequency, he could even reduce the cooldown period between teleportation, which had a cooldown period of 1 year, and resurrection, which had a cooldown period of 100 years, to 1 month. Moreover, this was the characteristic of the level 1 stagnation spell. If its cooldown period was the same as Backtrack, Transfiguration, and Primal Chaos spell, did that not mean that when he upgraded the stagnation spell to level 5, all his Primal Chaos characteristics would have their cooldowns reduced to only 1 day? It shouldn't be that simple. Stagnation spell has a cooldown period of 1 month, but it doesn't mean that it will be the same as Backtrack, Transfiguration, and Primal Chaos spell, where the cooldown period decreases as the level increases. Tsing Hui's gaze lingered on the Primal Chaos level for a moment, forcibly suppressing the urge to investigate. He had already upgraded the Primal Chaos level to level 70. Although he still had some Taoist rhymes on him, he couldn't afford to waste time. Thinking of this, his gaze focused on the Transfiguration spell. In an instant, the Transfiguration spell, which was originally at level 4, was upgraded to level 5. The Transfiguration spell at level 5 suddenly changed. Tsing Hui carefully sensed it and understood the change in the Transfiguration spell in his heart. Compatible with Primal Chaos characteristics, this change shocked Tsing Hui. The previous Transfiguration spell was actually not compatible with Primal Chaos characteristics. In other words, if he did not upgrade the Transfiguration spell to level 5, he was afraid that he would not be able to open his personal space at all. At that time, if he wanted to take Venerable Master Tsongzhen and the others into his personal space, he was afraid that there would be a lot of trouble. Fortunately, the level 5 mutation perfectly solved this problem for him. After a while, Tsing Hui collected his thoughts. At this time, Venerable Master Yuanri, Venerable Master Tsongzhen, Xian Huang Yulan, and the others had already taken care of the matters at hand and were waiting for his next move. Tsing Hui, how is it? Seeing that Tsing Hui seemed to have collected his thoughts, Venerable Master Tsongzhen asked cautiously. I need to wait for 2 more days. Tsing Hui said. His Transfiguration spell's mutation did not shorten the cooldown, but increased the toughness. Therefore, the cooldown time was nearly 2 days long. It's only 2 days. There's no hurry. Venerable Master Tsongzhen said. I've already talked to Venerable Wu Fa and Venerable Purple Sky. When the time comes, you can directly take us into your personal space. Okay. Tsing Hui nodded and continued to refine the power of the dragonization fruit that had not been completely digested as much as possible. 2 days passed quickly. As soon as time passed, Tsing Hui immediately opened his personal space and took Venerable Master Tsongzhen, Venerable Master Yuanri, and the others into it. After they entered his personal space, Tsing Hui followed the previous step. He first used the backtrack spell to pave the way, and then immediately activated the transfiguration spell. Due to his previous experience of transforming into the divine beast Kunpeng, Tsing Hui's transfiguration spell and life essence had greatly improved compared to the last time, even though he had transformed into a divine beast Kunpeng at the third layer of the divine realm. After transforming into a 200-meter-tall behemoth, he actually felt that the burden on his body was much less than the last time. Although his physical body was still unable to bear the heavy impact, Tsing Hui estimated that it should not be difficult for him to hold on for 10 breaths of time. Crushing the divine beast Kunpeng at the vacuum realm and tearing apart the primal chaos realm is a piece of cake. Tsing Hui's gaze quickly swept the surroundings. The innate talent of a divine beast made his gaze as sharp as an arrow. Under his gaze, the layered spatial maze was like a world separated by a thin layer of gauze, instantly penetrating it. Before long, he had already seen through many of the mysteries of this underground palace that was less than 30 kilometers in size. This won't do. It's too slow. I only have 10 breaths of time. Tsing Hui was somewhat anxious. In the next moment, he seemed to have thought of something. Wait a moment, since the transfiguration spell is compatible with the characteristics of the primal chaos, then I'll use the divine art on top of transforming into the divine beast Kunpeng. When he thought of this, Tsing Hui's eyes lit up. He immediately used the divine art, and a pure primal chaos energy emerged from within his body, stabilizing his unsteady body. I thought that I would be able to raise the divine beast Kunpeng's level from the third layer of the divine realm to the fifth layer of the divine realm. I didn't expect that it would only raise the level of my attributes, increasing the time I can last from 10 breaths of time to half an incense stick's worth of time. It's a pity that the divine beast Kunpeng's transformation can last for half an incense stick's worth of time, but the divine art can't last that long. I still have to hurry and seize every second. Tsing Hui focused his mind and quickly looked around. The divine beast Kunpeng's innate talent made him extremely sensitive to spatial fluctuations. Before long, he had already sensed some of the rules of the spatial maze. Rip. Tsing Hui's huge and majestic figure moved slightly. The spatial maze that made his true body, Venerable Master Yuanri, Venerable Master Zhongzhen, Xian Huang Yulan, and the others feel helpless was directly torn apart by him, relying on the divine beast Kunpeng's innate talent. In front of the torn space, Venerable Master Wufa and Venerable Master Purple Sky had already learned from Venerable Master Yuanri's conversation that Tsing Hui could transform into the divine beast Kunpeng, but when they saw the colossus that suddenly appeared in front of them, they still couldn't help but widen their eyes in shock. With a wave of his hand, Tsing Hui quickly brought Venerable Master Wufa and Venerable Master Purple Sky into his personal space. Then, his figure moved like lightning, quickly shuttling through the spatial maze. 10 breaths of time, 20 breaths of time, 30 breaths of time, in less than 100 breaths of time, Tsing Hui's eyes lit up. He had already seen through the spatial maze. Or rather, he had already figured out what kind of supreme treasure this spatial maze was protecting. Whoosh! In the next moment, his body, which was so huge that it far exceeded the capacity of the underground palace, seemed to have transformed into a gust of wind, rolling up layers of spatial ripples. In an instant, he crossed over 10 kilometers and appeared in the most central area of the spatial maze. In the most central position, a rhombus-shaped grayish-black gem, which seemed to contain the profound truths of the birth and death of the universe, was vividly displayed before his eyes. Chapter 691. This Treasure. Tsing Hui stared at the grayish-black diamond-shaped gemstone in front of him, and his pupils shrank. He did not know if it was because he was in the form of the mythical beast Kunpeng or some other reason, but around the grayish-black diamond-shaped gemstone, He could clearly see circles of special ripples and trajectories that were constantly spreading in all directions. Following these special ripples and trajectories, he felt as if he was witnessing the most mysterious space law in the world. Originally, it was just a blur, or it could be said that he had to follow his instincts to come into contact with the law of space, but at this moment it became extremely clear. This feeling was like a human who had always relied on his instincts to breathe the air and clearly understood the composition of the air for the first time. After understanding this point, under certain special circumstances, he could even create his own air. This is definitely a true treasure. Tsing Hui's tone was extremely certain. Time was of the essence, and he did not dare to continue admiring it. His personal space swirled, and he was about to put this 1-meter-tall grayish-black gemstone that was floating on the altar in the center of the space maze into his personal space. But the result? He failed. This grayish-black gemstone emitted a space ripple that seemed to have solidified and caused the law of space to appear directly from nothingness. This caused the space around it to have an extremely shocking repulsive effect on his personal space. It was impossible to put it into his personal space. I can't put it into my personal space? It is said that the ability of a level 10 personal space to store items is not inferior to the world created by a boundary breaker. Tsing Hui was a little surprised. This was the first time his personal space could not store an inanimate object. However, very quickly, he thought about how a boundary breaker could only rely on setting up a space maze to protect this object and could not store it into his own world. He more or less understood something. He immediately reached out his hand and grabbed the grayish-black gemstone. Then, he used his strength to lift it up. Buzz buzz. When he grabbed the grayish-black gemstone, the space maze suddenly shook. Then, a circle of shock waves that could be seen by the naked eye rapidly spread in all directions. This shock wave contained a strong power of space. In many cases, it could even ignore the obstruction of soil and rock. In an instant, it rushed out at least a few hundred kilometers. In front of this shock wave, many palaces and buildings that were hundreds of kilometers away collapsed like fragile sand sculptures. This ancient cave residence is actually constructed with this grayish-black diamond-shaped gem as the center. In other words, this underground space was actually created with this grayish-black diamond-shaped gem as the energy source. Now that I've taken it away, this underground space will lose its support and collapse immediately? Qing Su glanced around as the divine beast Kuan Peng, and he understood the reason why the entire dwelling had collapsed for no reason, as if he had done it instinctively. It was just like how people from other worlds had to learn about astronomy if they wanted to understand what the 8 planets were. However, for humans on Earth, they could tell the names, characteristics, and locations of the 8 planets with their eyes closed. There should be some other valuable materials in the cave. What a pity! Looking at the rapidly collapsing ancient cave dwelling, Tsing Hui felt a little regretful. Immediately, his gaze swept across the surroundings. The world in front of him was no longer rustling rocks and soil, but a series of spatial ripples that operated according to a strange law. Rip! After locking onto one of the spatial trajectories, Tsing Hui's Kuan Ping body slashed with force, and the space in front of him collapsed. It was just like Tsing Hui's divine technique, form when he slashed out with the Sword of the Sun. However, compared to the effect of the Sword of the Sun, the effect of the Kuan Ping body tearing through space was undoubtedly much more astonishing. With the flapping of his wings, Tsing Hui directly entered the spatial mezzanine and left the divine wilderness world. As soon as he entered the spatial mezzanine, he could clearly feel that the spatial fluctuations around him were many times more complicated. Even with his Kuan Ping talent, he could not distinguish it because he had not systematically learned it. Fortunately, he was now outside the divine wilderness world, like a spaceship that had just flown out of the atmosphere of a star. It was naturally easy to return, and there was no need to worry about losing his way. After glancing back a few times, Xing Hui quickly locked onto the position of the fissure volcano. However, just as he was about to continue tearing through space to return to the divine wilderness world, a figure suddenly swept past him not far away. Relying on the amazing talent of the Kunpeng, Xing Hui immediately determined the identity of this figure. The Li Hen Holy Man? Xing Hui was stunned. This figure was the Li Hen Holy Man of the Way of the Heavens. The Li Hen Holy Man, the Wu Lu Holy Man and the others worked together to kill the Zhu Zhao Master. In the end, they were rescued by the Firmament Master, by Heng Sword Master, Lan Rui Sword Saint and the others, and forced to use a teleportation technique to fall into the spatial mezzanine. It had been several years, and after all his struggles, he was now at the edge of the divine wilderness world. He only needed to find a weak point in the space of the divine wilderness world to activate the power of the heavenly stone to shatter the void and return to the divine wilderness world. Unfortunately, he only needed to wait for 10 days to half a month to return to the divine wilderness world, but he just had to meet Xing Hui. And it was Xing Hui who had transformed into the Kunpeng. Kunpeng, the Kunpeng? At the same time that Xing Hui saw the Li Hen Holy Man, the Li Hen Holy Man also suddenly saw the huge figure that appeared not far away in front of him, wandering in the spatial mezzanine. The Kunpeng was more than 200 meters long, and when it spread its wings, it was more than 500 meters long. The Li Hen Holy Man, who had been struggling in the spatial mezzanine for many years, was already at the end of his life. At this moment, he opened his eyes wide and an uncontrollable sense of despair surged in his heart. "Don't bother with me, don't bother with me." The Li Hen Holy Man kept on praying. At this moment, he only hoped that the Kunpeng was not a cruel creature, otherwise. Whoosh! Xing Hui's figure turned and the huge body of the Kunpeng immediately turned and pounced towards the Li Hen Holy Man. Just the movement of the Kunpeng had already caused the Li Hen Holy Man's figure to sway. No. And the Li Hen Holy Man, who originally wanted to hold his breath and hope that the Kunpeng would not harm him, let out a shrill scream when he saw the Kunpeng pouncing towards him. He quickly retreated and rushed towards the divine wilderness world as fast as he could. At the same time, the power of the heavenly stone was activated in his hands. He did not care about the danger and wanted to tear apart void space and escape to the divine wilderness. Unfortunately, it was useless. The divine beasts were the most unique beings in the world. If a human divine being wanted to kill even the weakest adult divine beast, they would have to think of ways to leave the divine beast alone and set up a foolproof trap. Only then would they have some hope. But even so, most of the time, the divine being teams that went to hunt the divine beast would end up completely wiped out. A divine beast Kunpeng that had just reached adulthood was equivalent to the first layer of the Saint Realm. In terms of battle prowess, it surpassed regular supreme experts, enough to rival peak existences like the Reverend Zhu Zhao, let alone the fact that Qing Ruins had conjured a divine beast equivalent to the third layer of the Saint Realm. As the Kunpeng that Xing Hui had transformed into tore down, the distance between the two of them was instantly closed. The power of the Li Hen Holy Man's territory was like an inflated balloon in front of him and was about to burst. Then, without any suspense, the Li Hen Holy Man was caught in the hands of Lin Feng as he screamed, "No, no, I can't accept this." The Li Hen Holy Man, who was caught in the hands of the Li Hen Holy Man, roared furiously. The origin of the Li Hen Holy Man's domain burned furiously and circles of power of the Li Hen Holy Man's domain surged outwards with him as the center. He tried to break free from Xing Hui's sharp claws. Final struggle. Xing Hui's expression did not change. He grabbed the Li Hen Holy Man with his sharp claws and exerted force. Boom, boom, boom. The vast power of the Kunpeng clashed violently with the origin of the Li Hen Holy Man's domain, which was burning in his final struggle. However, This boom did not last for more than half a breath before it ended with the complete collapse of the Lihen holy man's domain. Crack! Accompanied by the sound of bones breaking, the Lihen holy man's entire body was almost flattened by Tsing Hui. If not for the fact that he was in the divine stage and had a strong regenerative spell, the Lihen holy man would have died a long time ago. The Lihen holy man screamed in despair. However, when he realized that he was not crushed by the Kuan-Pung, a strong desire to live appeared in his eyes. If the Kuan-Pung wanted to kill me, I would have been crushed to death. If he kept me alive, would I still be useful? As he thought of this, the Lihen holy man could not care less about the pain of almost all his bones being crushed. He shouted hurriedly, "Great Kuan-Pung, lowly human cultivator Lihen, I am willing to submit to you. I am willing to become your most loyal servant. For this, I am even willing to offer my soul." In Tsing Hui's mind, a few contracts that could only be signed between divine beasts and humans appeared. Among these contracts there were contracts that were similar to the one he signed with the holy beast Xuanwu. There were also contracts where divine beasts took in humans as their servants. However, he did not know if these contracts would still be effective after he turned into his human form. After a while, Tsing Hui seemed to have thought of something. "Who cares if it will be effective when the time comes? I shall sign it first. If I can really control the Lihen holy man and let him destroy the 15th order formation from the inside, I may be able to eliminate the threat of the heavenly way once and for all." As he thought of this, Tsing Hui waved his hand and a drop of blood appeared on his body. After the blood appeared, it formed a contract. "Split your soul and inject it into the contract. Become my servant." Yes. The Lihen holy man heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that he might be able to keep his life. At the moment when the contract was signed, there was even a slight excitement and joy in the depths of his heart. Divine beasts were different from human beings. Although the divine beast Kuan-Pung was as intelligent as human beings, IQ and EQ were two different things. When it came to scheming and scheming, 10 divine beasts of the divine realm couldn't compare with a human. Although it seemed that he had signed a slave contract with this divine beast Kuan-Pung, if he made good use of it, he might even bring himself a powerful divine beast of the vacuum-shattering level to the way of heaven. Chapter 692. I can sense the aura of the Son of Chaos on you. Hand over your chaos mantra. Tsing Hui said again. However, he was using telepathy and added in some of the brutality that belonged to the Kuan-Pung. Chaos mantra? Great divine beast, the chaos mantra is of no use to you. Before the Lihen holy man finished speaking, the Kuan-Pung that Tsing Hui transformed into crushed the lower half of the Lihen holy man's body into a bloody mist. Slave, you only need to follow the will of your master. If you dare to speak any more nonsense, I will eat you up. Yes, 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 the Lihen holy man screamed in pain and his face turned pale. However, he did not dare to disobey and quickly handed over his chaos mantra. Since a divine beast could not become the son of chaos, it was not hard to accept handing over the chaos mantra to a divine beast. Very good. After Tsing Hui obtained the chaos mantra from the Lihen holy man, he clenched his fist again and the strength was evenly distributed to every corner of the Lihen holy man's body. This kind of pain broke the limit of the Lihen holy man's tolerance for pain and he fainted on the spot. Since I have transformed into the Kuan-Pung, then let's solve all the problems together. Tsing Hui carried the Lihen holy man and turned his gaze towards the huge divine wilderness world. As his gaze swept across, the spatial barriers around the divine wilderness world were seen through by him. Not long after, a small mushroom-like world that was attached to the divine wilderness world appeared in his vision. The chaos dimension of the chaos holy man. The Kuan-Pung that Qing Su had transformed into flapped its wings and flew towards the chaos origin world that the chaos holy man had summoned. When it approached the Chaos Origin world, it suddenly shot through the void and ripped open the spatial barrier between the Divine Wilderness world and the Divine Wilderness world, directly entering the Divine Wilderness world. As the battle on Karma Peak had yet to come to an end, many forces had sent their chess pieces to pay attention to the changes in Karma Peak's Chaos Primordial realm. As a result, when the void was torn apart and a divine beast Kuan Pung with a wingspan of more than 500 meters flew out from this region, everyone was dumbfounded. Kuan Pung! Kuan Pung! The divine beast Kuan Pung! Heavens, such a huge Kuan Pung divine beast! This is a divine beast at the second or even third level of the Saint realm. Our divine wilderness actually has such a powerful divine beast? Why would the divine beast Kuan Pung appear in Tianwang? Those terrifying monsters living overseas want to invade Heaven Wasteland and dominate the divine wasteland? Many of the cultivators who had been left behind by the various forces could not help but exclaim at the same time when they saw the huge and imposing figure in the void. However, Xing Hui did not have the time to pay attention to these observers, who were at most in the Golden Core realm. The time for the divine art was about to end. He had to take advantage of this time to tear the chaotic primordial realm apart. Otherwise, with his current consumption rate of 10 Taoist charms per day, he would squander dozens of Taoist charms for nothing. Although he had extorted 1,500 Taoist charms from the Black Flame sect, it would not take long for him to go bankrupt. Primal Chaos Realm. Xing Hui, who had traveled through the void and arrived at the Karma Peak, looked at the Primal Chaos Realm. The Primal Chaos Realm that he could not do anything to in his human form and could not be torn apart even with the help of the Heavenly Grotto Heaven Stone, had no secrets at this moment. The entire Primal Chaos Realm was derived from a level 17 unique treasure that Chaos Holy Man had obtained by chance and his own Primal Chaos Realm. The unique treasure had completely merged with his Primal Chaos Realm, giving his Primal Chaos Realm an incredible ability to trap target. Of course, while the Primal Chaos Realm possessed great power, it also lost some of the advantages of an ordinary Primal Chaos Realm, such as flexibility, the ability to withdraw and release, and the ability to recover. The Primal Chaos Holy Man's Primal Chaos Realm could withdraw and release their Primal Chaos Realm as they wished. Even if the Primal Chaos Holy Man's Primal Chaos Realm was torn apart, more Primal Chaos Realm power could be used to repair it. However, once the Primal Chaos Realm of Chaos Holy Man was torn apart, it was like a divine weapon that had a hole in it. It was not something that could be repaired overnight. It was as if what Xing Hui wanted to do was to completely tear apart the Primal Chaos Realm of Chaos Holy Man. Open up! Xing Hui roared. The huge body of the divine beast Kuan Pung was like a rising meteor as it crashed into the Primal Chaos Realm. Relying on the talent of the divine beast Kuan Pung, it immediately used its sharp claws, which were infused with rich spatial power, to tear apart the energy nodes of the Primal Chaos Realm. Crack! Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled. Gray-black primal chi scattered in all directions. The Chaos Primordial Realm was like a fragile piece of paper that had a corner torn off. The torn Chaos Primordial Realm formed a spatial crack, and even if Chaos Holy Man wanted to mobilize the power of the Chaos Primordial Realm to spread in this direction and repair it, it was useless. All the power of the Primal Chaos Realm that spread over was completely swallowed by this space crack, without exception. When the Primal Chaos Primordial Realm was torn apart, Reverend Candlelight, Reverend Firmament, Swordmaster Baiheng, Swordmaster Rainbow, Swordmaster Shadow, and the others who were trapped in the Primal Chaos Primordial Realm were all pleasantly surprised. However, when they saw the huge creature with a wingspan of more than 500 meters outside the Primal Chaos Realm, their expressions changed drastically. Fortunately, before they could retreat, Qing Su's voice had already rang out, Exalted Zhuzhao, Exalted Sky, Swordmaster Baiheng, Swordmaster Changhong, Swordmaster Yuing, I am Qing Su. This divine beast, Kuan Pring, is a manifestation of my special technique. There's no need to panic. Leave right now, and I'll directly destroy the chaotic origin world of the celestial lord of chaos. Xinghui? Master Zhu Zhao, Master Firmament, and the others were shocked. A acoustic-level divine beast was a particularly terrifying existence for anyone. However, seeing that the divine beast Kuan Pring did not seem to have any intention of attacking them, several divine beasts, led by Master Zhu Zhao, boldly flew toward the space crack that Xinghui had torn open. At the same time, the primal chaos realm, which covered the causality peak with a diameter of more than 100 kilometers, began to surge violently and rapidly shrink toward the center. At this rate, the entire primal chaos realm would disappear completely in less than 10 breaths. Chaos Holy Man is taking back the primal chaos realm. Master Zhu Zhao looked around in surprise. As the primal chaos realm shrank, they, who were originally enveloped in the primal chaos realm, were naturally thrown out. Hey, if the acoustic-level divine beast outside is really Xinghui of Firmament, unless Chaos Holy Man wants the primal chaos realm to be completely torn apart, he can only take back the primal chaos realm and escape quickly. Master Firmament's eyes were filled with sarcasm. You want to take back the primal chaos realm, just like that? Did you ask for my permission? Xinghui, who was destroying the primal chaos realm, sneered. The divine beast Kuan Peng's huge figure suddenly spread its wings. A circle of space energy was madly attracted by its wings and poured into its body. Then, its wings shot out like whistling flying swords, turning into thousands of sword shadows and shooting toward the shrinking primal chaos realm like a storm. Heavenly Peng Sword Wings. This was an attack that Xinghui imitated the talent of Great Elder Qin Lian of the Hunyuan Heaven sect. The feathers, which were infused with space energy, seemed to have turned into the sharpest divine weapons in the world. They madly shot into the shrinking primal chaos realm and instantly pierced thousands of holes in it. Xinghui's divine beast Kuan Pring body suddenly rushed forward, grabbed the shrinking primal chaos realm, and tore it apart again. A space crack of several kilometers in diameter rapidly formed, looking ferocious and terrifying in the primal chaos realm. Seeing that Xinghui was relentless, Chaos Holy Man made a prompt decision. The entire primal chaos realm was divided into two. One part of the primal chaos realm was like a large net that rapidly enveloped Xinghui, while the other part of the primal chaos realm was shrinking at an even faster speed. In less than 2 breaths, it would be completely taken back by Chaos Holy Man. We can't let Chaos Holy Man escape like this. Esteemed Zhu Zhao, who had finally reacted, let out a long roar and released his domain. Behind him, a mysterious and profound torch dragon phantom appeared in the air and rushed toward Chaos Holy Man's primal chaos realm. The giant torch dragon phantom had shrunk to only 1 kilometer in diameter, but it suddenly expanded and revealed a gigantic body that was several kilometers long. It then grabbed at the primal chaos realm where Chaos Holy Man was, as if it was grabbing a round ball. A steady stream of energy frantically bombarded the primal chaos realm in his hand, bursting out with terrifying energy waves. When the explosive force persisted to a certain extent, esteemed Zhu Zhao suddenly roared, and the torch dragon phantom tore the other half of the primal chaos realm that Chaos Holy Man had created, exploding into circles of grayish-black primal chaos chi that spread in all directions. Zhu Zhao! A deep roar came from the void, and the figure of the Chaos Holy Man suddenly appeared in the spreading grayish-black chaotic chi. The long spear in his hand was like a shooting star that pierced through the sky. It instantly crossed the space between esteemed Zhu Zhao and the shadow of the torch dragon and stabbed toward esteemed Zhu Zhao. However, before his sword could strike Master Zhu Zhao, a blazing sword light that carried a blazing sun that could burn the void collided with the meteor that pierced through the sky. It was Sword Master Bai Heng. In the burst of fire, Chaos Holy Man's figure retreated rapidly, trying to escape from the battlefield. However, What awaited him was a terrifying giant claw from esteemed Zhu Zhao's domain. This terrifying giant claw carried the power to shatter the heavens and grabbed Chaos Holy Man who was retreating. Then, its power exploded. Boom! The primal Chaos Holy Man's primal Chaos Chi dissipated, and his figure was crushed by the torch dragon that esteemed Zhu Zhao had manifested, exploding in the air. It's his incarnation. Esteemed Zhu Zhao's face changed slightly when he saw Chaos Holy Man's body explode. At this moment, Chaos Holy Man finally kept all the primal chaos realm that he had participated in and revealed his true form. After his true form appeared, he looked gloomily at the mythical beast Kuan Peng that was charging toward him, and then, without hesitation, he activated the teleportation spell and disappeared. If you don't ask for recommendations, your recommendation votes won't move at all. What a tragedy! Please log in to your account and vote for this book. Chungfin thanks everyone. Chapter 693. He escapes so quickly. Seeing Chaos Holy Master disappear without a trace, Master Zhu Zhao could not help but snort coldly. After breaking through to the insightful Void Realm, he should have shown his strength and tried his best to suppress the power of the Way of Heaven. However, he did not expect Firmament Holy Master, Sword Master Bai Heng, and the others to be trapped in the chaotic dimension by Anusrava Holy Master's trap. It took time for the primordial chaos realm to unfold and close. Given esteemed Zhu Zhao's ability, it was impossible for the primordial chaos realm to trap him. However, he had to enter the primordial chaos realm to protect the Firmament Master, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and the others from being trapped in the primordial chaos realm and killed by the primordial chaos Holy Man. It was just like the last time the primordial chaos realm was torn apart. He had the chance to escape, but he had to continue staying in the primordial chaos realm for the sake of the Firmament Master and the others. Putting aside the Firmament Master and other factors, the Zhu Zhao Exalted Master could suppress the entire heavenly Tao by himself. Even if the Chaos Holy Man came, the Zhu Zhao Exalted Master would not be an exception. He just had to be careful not to fall into the Chaos Holy Man's chaos realm. Whoosh! In the void, the colossal divine beast Kuan Peng trembled slightly. The next moment, it shrank rapidly under the horrified gaze of the crowd. Soon, it had shrunk from a creature of hundreds of meters to a human form. And this human form was Tsing Hui. This Firmament Holy Master looked at Tsing Hui, who was transformed from Kuan Peng, and his eyes widened. What's going on? Tsing Hui, why did you transform into Kuan Peng? It's the art of transformation. Qing Su's mood improved when he saw the sky Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, and so on break free. When the chaotic plane reaches the 50th level, it can give birth to a brand new characteristic, the transformation technique. I used this characteristic to transform into the divine beast Kuan Peng, which allowed me to rip open the chaotic plane. Art of transformation? Primal Chaos Level 50? The Firmament Master was secretly shocked. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao nodded, as if he had guessed the answer. I guess it could be a transformation technique derived from the 50th stage of the Son of Chaos. However, the transformation technique in my memory doesn't have such astonishing power. Back then, when Emperor Tai used the transformation technique to transform into a first-stage Saint Stage Golden Crow, it only lasted for about 10 breaths, let alone a vacuum-level divine beast. If he continues, his body will be in danger of collapsing. Did Emperor Tai use the transformation technique? Tsing Hui turned his eyes to esteemed Zhu Zhao. Under certain special circumstances, we also need to raise the level of chaos above the 44th level, and obtain the power of chaos to turn the situation around. Therefore, we know a lot about the characteristics derived from the 50th level. It's said that the Chaos Holy Man of the Heavenly Axiom once raised the level of chaos to the 55th level, and saw the characteristics of the 55th level of chaos. It's just that we don't know if it's true or not. After all, this experience could be a whole 1,100 Tao rhymes. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao said. 1,000 Taoist rhymes was equivalent to the entire wealth of an ordinary divine being. Even chaotic holy man, who was one of the top experts, did not necessarily have much more wealth than other divine beings. The only difference was that their magic weapons were very valuable. But in fact, many chaos organizations would not sell magic weapons above the 13th and 14th level. It was precisely because no one sold them that the prices of these magic weapons were extremely high. If all the divine in the divine wilderness sold all their magic weapons below the 16th level at once, the prices of these magic weapons would definitely fall to an unprecedented freezing point. After all, for divine, a 13th level magic weapon would not increase their power at all, and a 14th level magic weapon would not increase their power significantly, either. In other words, the price of these magic weapons was not as high as it should be. It was just that the prices of these magic weapons were inflated by the hype. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Firmament, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yu Ying have successfully escaped. Our four-sect alliance has finally overcome this great crisis, Xing Hui said with a smile. After a moment, he seemed to think of something. With a wave of his hand, Zhongzhen Master, Yuanri Master, and Taoist Master Purple Shao, who had been put into his personal space, were all released. When Zhongzhen Master and the others appeared outside his personal space, they immediately saw Venerable Master Zhu Zhao and the others in front of them. They were immediately surprised and said, Master Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, and Sword Master Yu Ying have escaped? Thanks to Xing Hui's transformation into the divine beast Kuanpeng, which tore the chaotic realm apart, we were able to escape. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao nodded with a smile. Venerable Master Firmament was in a good mood. Xing Hui's transformation into the divine beast Kuanpeng tore the chaotic realm of Chaos Holy Man and caused serious damage to it, almost destroying it completely. I'm afraid it will take the chaotic realm 8 to 10 years to recover from this kind of damage. In addition, the incarnation that Chaos Holy Man cultivated with the 10th level incarnation technique was destroyed by Zhu Zhao. It will be difficult for him to condense it again in a short time. Therefore, the Way of Heaven will probably stay in hiding for the next 1 or 2 years. The chaotic realm has been severely damaged. That's great. The most terrifying thing about Chaos Holy Man is his chaotic realm. Without the chaotic realm, the offensive power of his divine beast Chaos bloodline is not that outstanding. Even if an ordinary divine being faces him, he can easily escape unscathed, if not defeat him. Therefore, before the chaotic realm of Chaos Holy Man recovers, he is at most equivalent to a slightly more powerful divine being of the domain realm. Venerable Master Yuanri and Zhongzhen Master were pleasantly surprised by this result. Chaos Holy Man was crippled. Heavenly Lord Wuqing, Heavenly Lord Shueda, and Zhurong Holy Man were all killed by Xing Hui alone. The Way of Heaven has been greatly damaged in this battle. We, Venerable Master Firmament, will be able to rest easy for a period of time. Venerable Master Purple Shao also said with a smile. Heavenly Lord Wuqing, Heavenly Lord Shueda, and Zhurong Holy Man were all killed by Xing Hui? Is this true? Heavenly Lord Wuqing is in existence second only to supreme experts. Xing Hui, he. Venerable Master Firmament's face was full of shock, and he immediately looked at Xing Hui. Haha, Venerable Master Firmament, although you have not been trapped in the chaotic primordial realm for long, the things that have happened in our divine wilderness during this period of time are much more exciting than those in the past few decades. Come, let's return to the Baihong sword sect first. We'll talk on the way. Zhongzhen Master Zhongzhen laughed loudly. The others also nodded. Sword Master Bai Heng and Sword Master Long Rainbow kept sizing up Tsing Hui curiously, especially Sword Master Bai Heng. Before she was trapped in the chaotic primordial realm, she had fought with Tsing Hui. At that time, although Tsing Hui's combat strength was not weak, in reality, he was still slightly inferior to her. It was only because she cooperated with Tsing Hui and used the wrong combat method that she lost to Tsing Hui by half a move. But now, in the blink of an eye, he was able to kill 3 divine sages consecutively, including Heavenly Lord Wuqing, who was in existence second only to supreme experts. The situation had reversed. The group of people chatted and laughed as they quickly returned to the Baihong sword sect. At the same time, the impact of this battle was quickly spread in all directions through the spies hidden around the Karma Peak. From the appearance of the divine beast Kuan Peng tearing apart the chaotic primordial realm, to the escape of Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Bai Heng, and the rest, to Venerable Master Zhu Zhao's astonishing combat strength, every matter shook everyone's nerves. For a time, many top forces in the divine wilderness held a meeting at the same time, and began to discuss how to deal with the great changes that the Heavenly Tao and the Four-Sect Alliance would bring to the divine wilderness. We're free, we're free. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Firmament, Sword Master Bai Heng, Sword Master Long Rainbow, Sword Master Yuing, congratulations on finally escaping. The Baihong Sword Sect had already received the news. Before they reached the Baihong Sword Sect, Sword Master Pengguang, Sword Master Caressing Sound, and the rest of the people from the Baihong Sword Sect had already rushed forward to welcome them. Their faces were filled with uncontrollable joy. Not only them, but Sword Master Xingyi and True God Suffering, who had stayed behind in the Baihong Sword Sect, were also overjoyed. Venerable Master Zhu Zhao and the rest of the 5 great sages had escaped. Without a doubt, they had completely unleashed their powerful combat strength. If not for the terrifying 15th rank array in the Heavenly Tao, with their current lineup, they would have swept over and destroyed the Heavenly Tao. It's all thanks to Tsing Hui. This time, if not for Tsing Hui using the transformation technique to transform into the divine beast Kuan Peng, we might not have been able to gather enough Paradise Divine Stones to tear apart the chaotic primordial realm. Sword Master Long Rainbow said. In fact, the danger we encountered in the chaotic primordial realm was not as serious as you imagined. With Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, the chaotic primordial realm might not be able to trap us to death. After learning about the worries of the people outside, Venerable Master Firmament felt a little guilty. Almost no one knew that Venerable Master Zhu Zhao had obtained the originator. In addition, Tsing Hui did not understand the real mystery of the originator. This was why he was so anxious about this matter. It gave people the illusion that the Four-Sect Alliance would be doomed if they could not rescue Venerable Master Zhu Zhao and the rest in a few months. In fact, as long as the originator was still around, there was no possibility of Venerable Master Zhu Zhao and the rest being trapped to death by the Chaos Holy Man. Everyone chatted happily. This conversation lasted for several hours before gradually dispersing. After everyone left, Tsing Hui called Venerable Master Tsangzhen, Venerable Master Yuanri, Venerable Master Firmament, Venerable Master Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Purple Sky, Venerable Master Yulan, Venerable Master Wufa, and the rest to go to the mountain that the Baihong Sword Sect had specially arranged for him. As soon as they arrived at Tsing Hui's courtyard, Venerable Master Zhu Zhao asked before Tsing Hui could speak, "Tsing Hui, do you have a spatial item on you? I can clearly feel the spatial ripples emanating from that spatial item. Just the spatial ripples alone are so obvious. I'm afraid this item is extraordinary." Venerable Master Zhu Zhao's words made the others look at Tsing Hui. To be exact, they were looking at the long treasure box that looked like a sword case that Tsing Hui was carrying on his back. In fact, the moment they saw Tsing Hui, they had already sensed the spatial ripples. However, because the item was on Tsing Hui's body, they could not ask about it. Now that Venerable Master Zhuzhao had spoken, it naturally aroused their curiosity. Venerable Master Tsongzhen even vaguely guessed something. He said excitedly and expectantly, "Tsing Hui, is he in the spatial maze?" Tsing Hui nodded. He reached out and took the sword case off his back. Then, he opened it. Suddenly, the diamond-shaped grayish-black gem that was constantly emitting spatial ripples to the outside world appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 694. Since Tsing Hui had chosen a treasure box that could seal off spatial fluctuations to store this grayish-black diamond-shaped gemstone, the spatial fluctuations emitted by the gemstone were not obvious. Now that Tsing Hui had opened the treasure box, the energy of the gemstone was no longer blocked, and the spatial ripples visible to the naked eye instantly became substantial. Even some of the space near the gemstone gradually became distorted. It seemed that with a slight movement, the gemstone would be embedded in the space and become one with the whole space. This item, esteemed being Zhenzhao, esteemed being Tsongzhen, esteemed being Yuanri, and the others did not react, but esteemed being Firmament thought of something when he saw the strange phenomenon around the gemstone, and his eyes suddenly widened. "Firmament, do you know this item? I saw some descriptions in an ancient book. If it's really this item, then it's really amazing. This is one of the high-grade treasures that most 5th-level Saint Realm and Unhindered Realm experts try to obtain." Upon hearing esteemed being Firmament's words, esteemed being Tsongzhen immediately asked, "What exactly is this item?" "This is the world core," esteemed being Tsongzhen said. "If Unhindered Realm experts are unwilling to upgrade their personal space to the 10th level and want to construct their own world, the most precious treasure is the world core. However, since most Unhindered Realm experts choose to upgrade their personal space to the 10th level and obtain the framework and rules of the world through their personal space, the value of the world core has dropped. It is no longer a top rare treasure of heaven and earth, but its value is still immeasurable, especially for cultivators at the 6th level of the Saint Realm, 2nd level of the Saint Realm, and 3rd level of the Saint Realm. The value of this item is indescribable with words. A piece of the world core is often enough to create a large sect that could be called a top sect in the ancient divine wilderness era. Esteemed being Tsongzhen, esteemed being Yuanri, Yulan, and Reverend Purple Sky's eyes lit up at the same time. On the other hand, esteemed being Zhenzhao looked at the grayish-black diamond-shaped gemstone and seemed to have understood something. "This item is used to help people comprehend the rules of heaven and earth?" "That's right. Comprehending the laws of heaven and earth. To be more specific, it's comprehending the laws of space." The Heavenly Venerable Master nodded heavily. A piece of world core can't be considered a complete world after all. It may contain a trace of the laws of heaven and earth, but it's still far from the real laws of heaven and earth. However, it's enough to help people break through to the lawful embodiment of heaven and earth. In addition, although the laws of heaven and earth contained in the world core aren't obvious, since it can be used as a reference scale for the structure of a world, its spatial laws are naturally incisive and vivid. I believe everyone can see this. Everyone nodded, including Tsing Hui. Currently, Tsing Hui hadn't transformed into the divine beast Kuan Pung, but when he looked at the world core, various comprehensions of the laws of space were born in his heart. Once he digested all these comprehensions, he was 90% sure that his understanding of space would definitely reach a new level. At that time, whether it was the speed of his sword, the trajectory of his sword, or even the sword light that could tear the void, they would all be greatly improved. Although I have a good comprehension of the laws of space, if I want to break through to the void-shattering realm, I estimate that I'll need to cultivate in seclusion for 10 to 20 years. If I get stuck at some bottleneck, it's not impossible for me to spend 30 to 40 years. However, when I look at this world core, it seems that a new chapter of the laws of space has been opened in front of me. I'm confident that if I hold this item carefully and cultivate in seclusion, I'll definitely be able to take that crucial step and break through to the void-shattering realm in 3 to 8 years. Venerable Zhu Zhao said confidently. To the side, Venerable Yuan Ri nodded in agreement. Although I haven't stepped into the domain realm, because I don't have the innate divine charm, I've studied a lot of the laws of space. If I have enough innate divine charm, I'm confident that I can reach the insightful emptiness realm within 3 years after breaking through to the domain realm. My situation is similar to Venerable Yuan Ri's. It seems that Venerable Firmament's words are true. If this item was in the ancient divine wilderness era, it would definitely be able to easily create a top sect. At the very least, it has practically paved a smooth path before the 3rd level of the saint realm. Unfortunately, there's truly too little innate divine essence in our world, and it's utterly insufficient for us to break through to the saint realm. It's even to the extent that even if we break through to the saint realm and condense domain quintessence, it'll take an unknown amount of time to perfect the domain. Venerable Zhangzhen sighed. Qing Su glanced at the Venerable Master Tsangzhen, the Venerable Master Heaven, and the Venerable Master Yuanri. These people were all known as prodigies in the world of cultivation. Even the Venerable Master Zhu Zhao was the same. As a matter of fact, the Venerable Master Zhu Zhao was known as the greatest prodigy among the Venerable Master of Chaos, the Tai Emperor, and the Venerable Primordial Wilderness generation. Unfortunately, due to limited resources, he was unable to break through. For example, Venerable Zhu Zhao had reached the insightful emptiness realm in a year after obtaining the originator. Now, he only needed a few decades to break through to the virtual shattering realm without the world core. How fast was this speed? It should be known that Dongqian, who was regarded as a god by Tsing Hui, took 700 years to break through to the virtual shattering realm from the domain realm. From this point, one could see the huge difference between the two. In the ancient times, Venerable Zhangzhen, Venerable Firmament, Venerable Yuan Ri, and Venerable Zhu Zhao would definitely be people whose talents far exceeded Dongqian's. It would not be an extravagant hope for them to open up their own worlds and become supreme experts who could create worlds with a thought. Unfortunately, resources. It was no wonder that there was a saying in the mortal world that a single penny could stump a hero. 6 dragonization fruits, a world core, some refining materials, and some 13th and 14th level divine weapons. It seems that the harvest from this trip to the ancient cavern mansion can be said to be bountiful. Venerable Yuan Ri said with a smile. That's right, especially the world core. This kind of treasure is the foundation treasure of an ancient great sect. Even if we can't break through to the 2nd level of the divine realm due to the lack of innate divine charm, a deeper understanding of the law of space is always beneficial. Venerable Firmament nodded. In fact, the reason why we could have such a bountiful harvest in the ancient cavern mansion this time is all thanks to Tsing Hui. If it weren't for Tsing Hui, I'm afraid that all of us would have been trapped in that spatial maze and died. That's right. If it weren't for Tsing Hui, we wouldn't have been able to escape alive. After all, the spatial maze is a terrible area that will inevitably lead to mistakes in the teleportation technique. Once cultivators like us, who haven't even reached the divine realm, are teleported into the spatial mezzanine, only death awaits us. Several almighty experts who had participated in the exploration of the ancient cavern mansion deeply agreed. No need to be so polite. Since I'm a member of the Celestial Vault Mansion, I'll naturally support each other. Tsing Hui said. Venerable Purple Sky couldn't help sighing with emotion when he heard this. I'm afraid that the most correct thing I've done in my life is to lead Tsing Hui into our Celestial Vault Mansion. Venerable Purple Sky's words made Venerable Firmament, Venerable Tsangzhen, Venerable Zhu Zhao, and the others look at each other. In the end, they nodded solemnly at the same time, thinking of the crisis that the Celestial Vault Mansion had encountered this time. If it weren't for Tsing Hui, the celestial vault mansion would have been in danger of being destroyed. Venerable Tsongjin seemed to have thought of something at this time and suddenly said, "By the way, this time Tsing Hui didn't hesitate to raise his chaotic level to the 54th level in order to save us, wasting a total of 1,000 Taoist connotation items. In my opinion, the Celestial Vault Mansion should find a way to make up for this." "That's not necessary." Tsing Hui shook his head. "I was also trapped at that time. Saving you is saving ourselves. Even if you weren't there, I'm afraid I would have to raise my chaotic level to escape with my life. Moreover, I've taken 3 dragonization fruits in this operation, which is enough to make up for the loss of 1,000 Taoist connotation." The Celestial Vault Mansion was not in a good situation now. When they purchased the originator, they had already used up all their Taoist connotation reserve. Although the Celestial Vault Mansion, Venerable Tsongjin, Venerable Yuenri, and the others might still be able to gather 1,000 Taoist connotations, this would undoubtedly cause the entire Celestial Vault Mansion to fall into the dangerous situation of having no Taoist connotation items to raise the chaotic level to the 30th level. This was something that the Celestial Vault Mansion was unwilling to see. "Tsing Hui, we'll always remember your contribution to the Celestial Vault Mansion. Venerable Tsongjin, there's no need to say more. Don't forget, I'm also a member of the Celestial Vault Mansion." The Celestial Vault Mansion was startled. After a while, he nodded vigorously. "Yes, I'm being unreasonable. However, I believe that all of us will remember this in our hearts and won't dare to forget it." Tsing Hui did not say much on this topic. "Everyone, go back and take a rest. When this matter is over, we'll discuss how to deal with the Heavenly Tao." The Celestial Vault Mansion said. The Heavenly Tao, the chaotic holy man, has been severely injured in the battle at the Karma Peak. I'm afraid that he won't be able to make any waves in a short period of time. Even if he's still in his prime, as long as Venerable Tsongjin is careful, it won't be difficult to deal with him. I estimate that the Heavenly Tao will focus on defense for the next 1 or 2 years. Venerable Tsongjin sneered. "If the Heavenly Tao adopts a defensive posture, we really can't do anything to it." The Celestial Vault Mansion said, "In any case, let's return to the Celestial Vault Mansion first. When the Divine Masters of the other forces arrive, we'll discuss how to deal with the Heavenly Tao." "Yes, let's go back first. The Celestial Vault Mansion only has the sword-wielder Lan Rui at the moment. We have to be careful of the Heavenly Tao's desperate actions." Venerable Tsongjin nodded, and then his eyes fell on the grayish-black diamond-shaped gemstone in front of Tsing Hui. The heart of the world contains powerful space energy, and it can't be kept in one's personal space. Take it to the Celestial Vault Mansion. When the time comes, anyone who wants to comprehend the space energy in it can go ahead. I'll leave it to the Venerable Tsongjin. Tsing Hui said. Seeing this, the Celestial Vault Mansion smiled and nodded. With this heart of the world, if they could solve the problem of resources, the Celestial Vault Mansion would be able to create a group of acoustic-level experts in a very short time. In the end, the Celestial Vault Mansion seemed to think of something and suddenly said, "By the way, Tsing Hui, didn't you say that you needed enough spatial crystals? In fact, the heart of the world is the best spatial crystal. If you need it, you can use it temporarily." Chapter 695. The Heart of the Realm can be used as a spatial crystal? Tsing Hui's heart was no longer calm. "Venerable Master, is what you said true?" "That's natural. The World Core is even more useful than the best spatial crystal. You can use the spatial crystal, but the World Core will slowly recover even if you use up all of its energy. That's because it has already broken away from the level of spatial crystal. There is a circulatory system inside it. As long as you have the correct method to guide it, the spatial energy inside it is almost inexhaustible." "All right," Tsing Hui said heavily, his voice faintly trembling. The teleportation array was repaired. He had the spatial crystal. In addition, Venerable Zhu Zhao, an existence at the profound void realm who could manipulate spatial energy, now, he could try to activate the teleportation array and return to Earth. Calculating carefully, it had been a total of 13 years since he left Earth. Even compared to the 10 years he had set for himself, it was 3 years longer. 13 years. How many 13 years could an ordinary person have? In these 13 years, his promise to senior sister Jiang Ningji of the Eastern Sky Sword Sect had faded by more than half. Even the faces of his parents were no longer clear. Even Tsing Hui himself felt an indescribable panic. Would he still be alive after another 13 years? Or even 300 years? Would he not even be able to remember the faces of his closest relatives? Fortunately, finally, after persevering and struggling for 13 years, the hope of returning to Earth was suddenly right in front of his eyes. At this moment, he did not even wish to stay a second longer. He only wanted to rush to the Fortune mainland as quickly as possible, to the Purple Firmament Palace's ancestral land where the teleportation array was repaired, to activate the teleportation array in the ancestral land, and then step into the teleportation array to return to Earth. As for the various matters in the divine wilderness, everything would have to wait until he returned to Earth and settled the matters there. Tsing Hui, what's wrong? At this time, Venerable Master Heaven, Venerable Zhu Zhao, Venerable Master Tsangzhen, and the others clearly felt that Tsing Hui's emotions had become somewhat abnormal after hearing the news. They immediately asked with concern. Who? Tsing Hui exhaled deeply, forcibly suppressing the urge to go to the Fortune mainland. In any case, he had stayed in this world for more than 10 years and had established connections with many people in this world. Although he had never made friends with any of them, including Nalan Fei, Zhangzhen Exalted Being, Zhu Zhao Exalted Being, and even Hidden Sword Venerable, they were still friends. It would be unreasonable for him to leave them behind. Furthermore, he didn't plan on not returning to the divine wilderness after returning to Earth. After witnessing the splendor of the divine wilderness, if he were to return to Earth and remain a nobody, he would not be able to accept it. Therefore, there were some things that he needed to make preparations for. Especially for the unfalling flower, he had to at least prepare a few. Only by letting his parents consume the unfalling flower would he be able to live for more than 1,000 years. Only then would he be able to do as he pleased in the divine wilderness. In fact, if everything went smoothly, he wanted to bring his parents and relatives, as well as the people from the Eastern Sky Sword Sect who were not compatible with Earth, to the divine wilderness. He believed that with the temperament of the people from the Eastern Sky Sword Sect, they would be able to live a better life in the divine wilderness. With his current strength, he could ensure that they would be able to live a carefree life in the divine wilderness. I'm fine. Venerable Masters, I would like to ask you for a favor. Help me find a way to find out the whereabouts of the unfalling flower. As for the number, the more the better. At least 3 stalks. Tsing Hui said cautiously. This is no problem. Although the unfalling flower is precious, the probability of it appearing in the Primal Chaos Treasure Pavilion is not small. It won't be difficult to find it and buy it. If it's fast, it'll take 3 to 5 days. If it's slow, it'll take 10 to 15 days. Venerable Zhangzhen said. Tsing Hui nodded. I'll send the Dao Aura to you in a while. Buy as many as you can. It's a small matter. Venerable Zhangzhen said with a smile. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he turned to Venerable Zhu Zhao. Venerable Master, there's something I'm afraid I have to ask you to do personally. I'm going to a place. After I go there, I might not be able to come back. I need your help. It'll take about a year or 2. Go to a place? Although Venerable Zhu Zhao felt a little strange, he agreed without hesitation. Okay, you're going to bring the World Core with you, right? In the next 1 or 2 years, I'll wait for you while comprehending the World Core. I'll strive to step into the vacuum-shattering realm as soon as possible. Venerable Zhongzhen, who was on the side, also echoed, Chaos Tao Master won't dare to act rashly in the next 1 or 2 years. Therefore, even if Venerable Zhu Zhao isn't in our celestial vault during this period, you don't have to worry. If there's anything important, you too can do it. Xing Hui had saved all of their lives. From Xing Hui's change just now, they inferred that what he was going to do next was obviously very important to him. Therefore, even if Xing Hui didn't tell them what it was, Venerable Zhongzhen, Venerable Zhu Zhao, and the others still fully supported him. Thank you, Venerable Masters. Xing Hui bowed to them cautiously. Venerable Zhongzhen, and Venerable Zhu Zhao immediately stepped aside. You don't have to do that. At the same time, they secretly decided that they had to deal with this matter properly for Xing Hui. In this way, they could also repay the various favors they owed during this period. I'll have to trouble you with the matter of the non-falling flowers. Since Tian Dao will be quiet for a while, I'll go back to the Kongli continent first. I still have Taoist Master He Tian and Taoist Master Mo Sun in my hands. I believe that after squeezing out the chaos incantation and divine weapons from them, I'll obtain enough Taoist items to buy the non-falling flowers. Xing Hui said with a smile. After that, he seemed to have thought of something and added, I can't keep an eye on the Kongli continent all the time, but it's related to the mining of a large number of dust-cleansing stones. I think it's best to let a powerful figure go with me, and let him stay on the Kongli continent. That's right. Venerable Zhongzhen nodded in agreement. If there was no powerful figure on the Kongli continent, it would indeed be too unsafe. Even if everyone already knew that the Kongli continent was now occupied by Tianqiong, and Tianqiong's reputation was at its peak because of the battle with Tian Dao, they still had to be careful of some desperados who would take risk. I'll go over there and stay on guard. Venerable Yuanri pondered for a while and requested, I'm enough. Moreover, in terms of cultivation, as long as I don't encounter a divine being, there's nothing to be afraid of. With me staying on the Kongli continent, it should be enough to ensure safety. Yuanri, you're going. It's indeed enough if you go, but for safety's sake, I'll let Wufa go with you. At least we can take care of each other. Venerable Zhongzhen said. All right, it's settled then. Venerable Yuanri nodded. Venerable Yuanri and Venerable Wufa, please make arrangements. We'll directly use the incarnation technique in a while. Xing Hui said. There's nothing particularly important that needs to be arranged. Venerable Yuanri smiled. Everyone could see that Xing Hui was obviously quite anxious now. Under such circumstances, they were naturally willing to put down the things in their hands and focus on the things that Xing Hui wanted to do. For them, as long as it wasn't an urgent matter, it wouldn't be strange to delay it for 3 to 5 years, let alone 1 or 2 years. Then we'll go to the Kongli continent now. Go. Anyway, you have the backtrack technique. Even if you go to the Kongli continent and return, it'll only take 2 or 3 days. These 2 or 3 days aren't even enough for us to smoothly deal with Tianqiong's matters. Venerable Zhongzhen said with a smile. Xing Hui nodded and was about to leave with Venerable Yuanri and Venerable Wufa, but at this time, as if he thought of something, he suddenly said, By the way, when I transformed into the Kuan Peng and tore through the space maze to escape, I coincidentally met the Lihen holy man and used the innate means of the Kuan Peng to sign a slave contract with him. Take a look. Can I use this contract to subdue the Lihen holy man and then send him back into the heavenly way to contribute to the 15th order great formation that breaks the heavenly way from the inside? The Lihen holy man? You used the Kuan Peng incarnation to take the Lihen holy man as a slave? Venerable Zhongzhen and Venerable Wufa were stunned at the same time. This kind of thing was obviously somewhat unheard of. Xing Hui didn't hold back. With a wave of his hand, the Lihen holy man was already thrown out of his personal space. Because of the short time, the Lihen holy man had not yet awakened. Can the Kuan Pung really sign a slave contract with a human when transformed using the transformation technique? Venerable Zhongjin was a little curious. Xing Hui sensed carefully and frowned before shaking his head and saying, "No, I can't use the power of the contract in my human form. But I can feel the existence of the power of the contract." If you can't use the power of the contract, then it's troublesome. You can't possibly transform into the Kuan Pung every time you want to punish the Lihen holy man, right? It's not that I can't. I just have to find the blood of the Kuan Pung that's only in the sage realm. Transforming into the Kuan Pung of the sage realm doesn't cost me much. Leave it to me, Lihen holy man. At this time, Venerable Zhongjin spoke. His expression was a little cold. One had to know that the reason why Broken Sword betrayed him was because he was the son of the Lihen holy man. Xing Hui pondered for a while and nodded. Then I'll leave it to you. In addition, I have the chaos spell of the Lihen holy man. It's not a high level, only 29. If anyone wants it, you can take it away for 150 Taoist rhymes. 150 Taoist rhymes is not necessary. We are not afraid of the heavenly Tao now. Why is a 29th level chaos spell of the heavenly Tao only selling for 150 Taoist rhymes? 180 Taoist rhymes, give it to me first, I'll find a buyer for you. Venerable Zhongjin said. Xing Hui did not want to go through too much trouble and directly agreed. Then I'll have to trouble Venerable Zhongjin. Don't be so polite with me. Okay, you Yuanri and Wufa go do your thing. Venerable Zhongjin waved his hand. Xing Hui nodded. Without delay, he directly put Yuanri and Wufa Jinren into his personal space. Then he directly contacted Su Fei in the Chaos Temple and asked for Su Fei's spiritual coordinate. After confirming his position, he directly activated the transformation technique. The weekend has arrived. When everyone is resting and having fun, it is the beginning of the outbreak of Chungfen. Today and tomorrow, it will be presented at 5:00 p.m. Chapter 696. Kongli Continent. In the mine of the Bieli mountain range, Su Fei, who was inspecting a batch of dust stones, was slightly taken aback. The next moment, he hurriedly said to Su Qiubai, who was accompanying him, "Elder is coming, quickly get ready and gather all the important personnel, the sooner the better." Ever since he had captured the lightning punishment Daolord in a short amount of time before everyone in the Bieli mountain range in Qingsu and defeated the powerhouses of the Heaven's Way, the Divine Wilderness, and the Eternal Holiness Realm, his status in the hearts of Su Fei and the others had become infinitely greater. He was like a god. Now that he heard that he was about to descend, Su Qiubai immediately dared not waste any time. Su Fei also headed to his courtyard study. Not long after, when Su Fei came out of his study again, there was already Xing Hui, who was worshipped by everyone in the Bieli mountain range, and two senior experts, who were not gods but were full of powerful oppressive force. Su Fei led Xing Hui directly to the main hall of the courtyard, where there were already more than a dozen people waiting. Seeing Xing Hui arrive, the dozen people respectfully bowed at the same time. Xing Hui nodded to these people, and at the same time said to Su Fei, "These two are Master Yuanri and Sage Wufa of the Sky Dome Domain. During this period of time, I have asked you to carefully understand the distribution of forces in the Heaven Wasteland Domain, and I believe you have heard of their names. From now on, these two will be in charge of the mine of the Bieli mountain range, and will be responsible for the safety of the mine. If there is no major matter, do not disturb their cultivation, understand?" Master Yuanri? Su Fei and Su Qiubai naturally understood that this was an elder of the Sky Dome Domain, and hurriedly bowed to the two. "We pay our respects to Master Yuanri and Sage Wufa. No need to be so polite." Master Yuanri smiled and waved his hand. These people were Xing Hui's subordinate. Even if their cultivation base was weak, but because they followed Xing Hui, he had to give them enough face. How is the interrogation of Downlord Mo Sun and Downlord Black Heaven? Tsing Hui asked again after introducing Master Yuanri and Sage Wufa. My lord, Dao Master Black Sky and Dao Master Mo Sun have both submitted. Su Fei said respectfully. Alright, take me there. Tsing Hui said. I'll go take a look as well. Dao Master He Tian and Dao Master Mo Sun are both renowned experts in the Heaven Dao. Among them, Dao Master He Tian had once fought with me. Venerable Yuanri said. Alright then. Qing Su nodded to Su Fei. Immediately, Su Fei led the way, and they arrived at another courtyard very soon. The guards who had received the news had already cleaned up the courtyard and brought Taoist Master Black Heaven and Taoist Master Mo Sun over, locking them in their own rooms. Taoist Master Black Heaven was the first person they came to check on. Although only a few days had passed, Downlord Black Heaven's spirit seemed to have been sucked out of his body. Even though he had cleaned himself up a little and changed into a new set of clothes, the miserable aura still lingered on him. Anyone who saw him would never associate him with Downlord Black Heaven, one of the 36 Downlords of the Heavenly Tao who stood high above the masses. Downlord Black Heaven, Tsing Hui said. Downlord Black Heaven raised his head when he heard the voice. When he saw Tsing Hui and Venerable Yuanri, his pupils suddenly shrank. But in the next moment, he became numb. The winner takes all and the loser takes all. I've already given you what you want. Next, I only ask for a quick death. Downlord Black Heaven said in a hoarse voice. Tsing Hui looked at the terrifying existence in front of him who had given him a feeling of invincibility when he was in the eastern wilderness. He took a deep breath and no longer spoke. Instead, his gaze fell on Venerable Yuanri. We're just serving different masters. Since he has already handed over what we want, let's give him a quick death. As for letting him go, it's naturally impossible. Although we've gained an advantage in the battle against the Heavenly Tao, it will still take some time to turn this advantage into a victory. At least, we have to wait until Venerable Zhuzhao breaks through to the void-shattering realm. Before that, we still have to find ways to weaken the power of the Heavenly Tao. Tsing Hui nodded. The Heavenly Tao can't do anything to the Heavenly Tao. I knew it. Otherwise, the Heavenly Tao wouldn't have remained silent for so long. Downlord Black Heaven's face was instantly filled with grief. The era of the Heavenly Tao suppressing everything has passed. Tsing Hui said indifferently. Downlord Black Heaven looked at Tsing Hui in front of him, and a cold smile appeared on his numb face. Do you really think that the Heavenly Tao has won? It won't be long. Calculating the time, it won't be long. I'll wait for you in hell. When they arrive, all of you will be buried together with me and all of the people of the Heavenly Tao who have fallen halfway. Tsing Hui frowned, and then he seemed to recall the words of the Black Ice Holy Master. What do you know? Speak. I don't know anything, but according to their words and actions, as well as their willingness to put aside some benefits to join forces with the eternal world and the divine wilderness, I can guess that they're coming. It won't be long. In less than 100 years, the entire divine wilderness will usher in an unprecedented situation. When that time comes, the world will tremble for the will of the Heavenly Tao. As Downlord Black Heaven said this, there was a hint of madness in his eyes. You don't know? Since you don't know, then you're useless. Anyway, we've already captured the Li Hen Holy Man alive. When the time comes, I can naturally get the information we want from him. The Li Hen Holy Man? You captured the Li Hen Holy Man alive? That's impossible. Downlord Black Heaven's eyes widened. It's not up to you whether it's possible or not. I'll send you on your way. After Tsing Hui finished speaking, he flicked his hand, and a streak of fiery red sword chi shot out from his hand. In an instant, it pierced through the head of the Li Hen Holy Man. The sword chi exploded, and a blazing hot current spread along the hole created by the sword chi, burning the Li Hen Holy Man into ashes. It seems that we have to send a message to Master Zhu Zhao as soon as possible. We can't kill the Li Hen holy man so easily. We have to interrogate him to find out the real movements of the heavenly Tao. After killing Daolord Black Heaven, Xing Hui's expression was a little serious. Master Yuanri nodded his head. However, I'm afraid that things won't be so simple. Unlike cultivators below the divine stage, the saints have already transferred a part of their soul power, which is their consciousness, into their own domain origin. Under some special circumstances, they can even sever the connection between their physical body and consciousness. Therefore, it's very difficult for the saints to get anything out of them through physical torture. Xing Hui naturally understood this point. It seems that when the time comes, we can only use provocation to provoke them into revealing the information. According to them, the they mentioned by Daolord Black Heaven should still take 80 to 90 years to arrive, but the faster we get detailed information, the faster we can make preparations. Xing Hui said, "It's better not to leak this information out for the time being. We can't even let the eternity and divine wilderness know." Hearing Master Yuanri's words, Xing Hui seemed to understand something. He immediately said, "You're worried." Master Yuanri nodded his head seriously. Once the divine wilderness and eternity receive this information, there will only be two reactions. The first is to join forces with the Heaven's Dome Empire and eliminate the ever-increasing threat of the heavenly Tao in one fell swoop. The other possibility is to betray the heavenly Tao. After all, the eternity and the heavenly Tao are competing for benefits, not life and death. Most of the people in the divine wilderness have joined forces to pursue a higher level of cultivation. We really can't expect such a force to be very cohesive. Xing Hui nodded his head. However, there was no need to be too pessimistic about this matter. Don't forget that Master Zhu Zhao had the originator. Now that he had the world core, there was no longer any difficulty in reaching the vacuum-shattering realm. If everything went smoothly, his cultivation would reach the peak of the vacuum-shattering realm within 10 years. At that time, with the originator and the dragonization fruit, he would probably be able to condense the divine true body. After that, the world core would also have a good supporting effect. As long as Master Zhu Zhao could step into the reigning realm within 100 years, he could raise his personal space to the 10th order and take them into the chaotic void to fly to other world. Although this was equivalent to giving up the divine wilderness world, at least he would have his own way out. After coming out of Daolord Black Heaven's room, Master Yuanri contacted Master Zhu Zhao, and Xing Hui was too lazy to see Daolord Mo Sun again. He just kept their divine weapons, resources, and treasures in his personal space. He left a portion of these resources and treasures for Su Fei. After all, the Su family's cultivation was too weak. They didn't even reach the Saint realm. As for the remaining resources, he quickly contacted Sword Shadow, Rainbow Sword Sect, and Black Flame Cult. He used their channels to quickly sell off these divine weapons, including Daolord Black Heaven's and Daolord Mo Sun's Chaos Technique. As 3 days passed, Daolord Black Heaven's, Daolord Mo Sun's, and Thunder Punishment Daolord's resources were mostly sold. As these items were digested by Rainbow Sword Sect, Black Flame Cult, Sword Shadow, and Sky Dome, and due to the lack of time, the selling price was not satisfactory. In the end, Xing Hui only received about 1,600 Daolord-carrying items. These Daolord-carrying items included 4 unfalling flowers. After deducting the cost of the unfalling flowers, Xing Hui received less than 900 Daolord-carrying items. Even so, the amount of Daolord-carrying items he had squandered to increase his chaos level reached a new high. The total amount reached a shocking 1,300 Daolord-carrying items. After collecting the 184 Daolord-carrying items from the last Chaos Technique, Xing Hui reappeared in Sky Dome's encampment. He was exhausted from running around during this period of time, but there was no displeasure on his face. "Phew! Standing outside the courtyard where the world core was stored, Tsing Hui let out a deep breath and suppressed the churning thoughts in his heart. He had never felt so close to returning to Earth. Chapter 697. Master Tsing Hui. Outside the courtyard where the heart of the world was kept, the 10 guards in the golden elixir realm saluted respectfully at the sight of Tsing Hui. Tsing Hui nodded. In the courtyard, the purple sky immortal, who was in charge of this place, had already walked out. When he saw Tsing Hui, he smiled and said, "Have you finished your business? I'm almost done with it. All right, I'll go inform Reverend Zhu Zhao." Reverend Zhu Zhao, Reverend Zhongzhen, Yulan, and Reverend Hidden Sword are all in this courtyard, comprehending the mysteries of this world core. Purple Sky Immortal said. Master Hidden Sword is also here? Tsing Hui was a little surprised, but after a while, he felt that it was reasonable. Before going to the ancient cave residence, Tsing Hui had chatted with Master Hidden Sword. Master Hidden Sword believed that the next step of his ultimate sword principle would be to directly jump to the vacuum-shattering realm. Since he had not experienced the realm of dominion and profound void realm, in order to achieve this, the spiritual level of the ultimate sword principle's cultivator must not be inferior to the vacuum-shattering realm experts. At the same time, his understanding of the law of space was even better than that of ordinary vacuum-shattering realm experts. Master Hidden Sword probably came to this courtyard after hearing about the mysteries of the heart of the world, after hearing about his speculation about the next realm. He wanted to try to comprehend the law of space and lay the foundation for the third step of the ultimate sword principle. Master Hidden Sword is here. During the days when you were away, he even fought with Master Zhu Zhao once. Master Zhu Zhao was full of praise for Master Hidden Sword's sword principle. If not for the fact that Master Zhu Zhao's sword essence is no longer pure, he would not dare to take such a big risk. I'm afraid that he could not help but change to Master Hidden Sword's ultimate sword principle. Purple Sky Immortal said with a smile as he transmitted a message to several people in the courtyard. Master Zhu Zhao, do you have anything to add to Master Zhu Zhao's ultimate sword principle? Naturally, Tsing Hui would not take Master Zhu Zhao's words seriously. After all, his future cultivation path would be smooth. It was impossible for him to abandon the Divine Beast bloodline cultivation system and choose the extreme sword Dao that had only been deduced up to the sword force stage. In fact, although Tsing Hui was able to erupt with battle prowess not inferior to that of a top expert by relying on the ultimate sword principle and sword force, it was basically because he had a good foundation. On the one hand, he had cultivated a supreme magical ability, and on the other hand, his spiritual level had reached level 143. Most importantly, he had integrated the spiritual secret technique of the Xia Empire into his sword force, causing its power to skyrocket. Without these factors, it would be very difficult for him to deal with a Saint Realm powerhouse. Master Zhu Zhao doesn't have any other advice for the ultimate sword Dao. He just thinks that the ultimate sword Dao relies too much on the natal sword Dao. According to Hidden Sword Venerable's original intention, the ultimate sword Dao should be based on the person, too reliant on the natal sword? When Tsing Hui heard this, his heart skipped a beat. Whether or not one had a natal sword would have a great impact on the cultivator of the ultimate sword Dao. Tsing Hui, are you done with your business? While Tsing Hui was pondering, Master Zhu Zhao's voice came from the courtyard. Then, Master Zhu Zhao, Master Zhongzhen, Yulan, and Hidden Sword Venerable walked out of the courtyard at the same time. Masters, Sword Venerable. Tsing Hui bowed to Master Zhu Zhao, Master Zhongzhen, and Hidden Sword Venerable. As for Yulan, she just nodded. If Tsing Hui's seniority was not too low, Yulan would have to bow to him because of his identity as a master. Master Zhu Zhao, I heard you mention that the cultivation of the ultimate sword Dao relies too much on the natal sword. Is there a way to neutralize it? The way to solve it, Master Zhu Zhao seemed to be thinking about something. After a while, he said, "In fact, I mentioned this to Master Tsang Qiong yesterday. Master Tsang Qiong said that in the ancient times before the divine wilderness world was shattered, there seemed to be a strange cultivator called Sword Immortal. This cultivator did not cultivate a natal divine weapon, but a natal sword qi. When the sword qi was released and injected into the plants, it could also turn the plants into a peerless divine weapon. However, the legend of Sword Immortal he saw came from a biography. He did not know whether this kind of cultivator in the ancient times was man-made or real." Sword Immortal? Xing Hui's breathing stagnated slightly. There was a legend of Sword Immortal in this world? Xing Hui was already familiar with a series of legends such as the Fortune Continent, the Purple Cloud Palace, the Fortune Divine Jade, various immortal techniques, and the Supreme Demon Refining Sword. However, these words were like the tip of the iceberg. There was no more after that, so he did not continue to investigate. But now, in addition to the Purple Cloud Palace, the Fortune Divine Jade, various immortal techniques, and the Supreme Demon Refining Sword, there was a legend of Sword Immortal. He could not help but wonder if the divine wilderness world was related to the ancient myths and legends of the Earth world. Otherwise, how could the Purple Cloud Palace, the Fortune Divine Jade, the Three Pure Sages, and Sword Immortal in the myths and legends of the Earth world be found in the divine wilderness world? Xing Hui, have you heard of Sword Immortal? Master Zhu Zhao asked curiously. Xing Hui shook his head. I have only heard of some similar legends. I don't know what kind of creature Sword Immortal is and what kind of cultivation system it is. Is that so? Master Zhu Zhao said thoughtfully. When the time comes, I will ask people to organize the ancient books before the divine wilderness world was destroyed and see if we can find any detailed information about Sword Immortal. However, the war 10,000 years ago was too tragic. The divine wilderness world was destroyed, and too many sects and orthodoxies were destroyed. Only a tenth of what was passed down is left. It will not be easy to find detailed information about Sword Immortal. Let's do our best, Xing Hui said. This time, if he could successfully return to the Earth world, he would take some time to study the ancient myths and legends of the Earth world. He used to treat these ancient myths and legends as novels and legends, but now there seemed to be a shocking secret hidden in them. Hidden Sword Venerable heard the conversation between Xing Hui and Master Zhu Zhao and understood that Xing Hui was going to leave for a while. He could not help but hesitate. Xing Hui naturally noticed this detail. In fact, he also wanted to go to the Hidden Sword Sect's Myriad Sword Peak to sense the sword spirit that Hidden Sword Venerable had mentioned. However, Sword Sovereign, I can't calm my mind at all right now. I can't wait to settle the matter at hand. Even if I really return to the Hidden Sword Sect with you, I'm afraid it's impossible for me to enter that mysterious state of swordsmanship when my mind is so unstable. Therefore, I can only wait until I've settled this matter before heading to the Hidden Sword Sect. Xing Hui said apologetically. Hidden Sword Venerable quickly waved his hand and said, There's no need to rush this matter. After all, everything I told you was based on speculation. I don't have any evidence to back it up. Maybe everything I said was just empty talk. So, you should focus on what you need to do first. Xing Hui nodded and turned to Master Zhu Zhao. Master, let's go. Okay, where are we going? The Fortune Continent. Fortune Continent? Master Zhu Zhao had obviously heard of this mysterious continent before. When he heard Huang Xiaolong mention it, he was slightly surprised. How are you going to get to the Fortune Continent? I plan to use the teleportation technique. Before Xing Hui could finish his sentence, he immediately understood what Master Zhu Zhao was referring to. Teleportation technique? Teleport with the world core? Did he think that his teleportation technique was too accurate? Did he want to travel to the void layer for free? I remember that the Fortune Continent is more than 100 million kilometers away from our Heaven Wasteland world. In between, there are divine beasts and saint beasts in the outer seas. If we rely on flying, it won't be easy. Tsing frowned. It's not that there is no way. I can use the world core to teleport there. If there is an accident and we enter the void layer, I can use the transformation technique to transform into the divine beast Kuan Pung and fly to the Fortune continent. However, this process will take a lot longer. There is no need to go through so much trouble. I remember that you want the void crystal and not the world core, right? Do you remember that the Illuminating World sect has void crystal for auction? Master Zhu Zhao said with a smile. Tsing Hui naturally remembered this matter clearly. However, isn't there still a few months before the Illuminating World sect's auction? Now that all our preparations have been completed, I really don't want to wait any longer. A few months? Haha, Tsing Hui, you are underestimating yourself too much. At the same time, you are also underestimating our Sky Dome sect's influence in the Heaven Wasteland world after the battle at the Karma Peak. At this time, if you say that you want the Void Crystal in the Illuminating World sect's hands, you don't need to take the initiative to go there. The Illuminating World sect will deliver the Void Crystal to you at the first moment. Why would you need to wait for the auction in a few months? Even if the Illuminating World sect's background is the Eternity sect, there will be no exception. Master Zhu Zhao said with a smile. Eternity is not the heavenly Tao. Master Tsang chuckled and echoed, the heavenly Tao is protected by a 15th order formation. Even if you transform into the divine beast Kuan Pung that can shatter the vacuum, you will not be able to tear apart the protective formation and kill your way into the heavenly Tao. However, eternity is not necessarily the same, let alone the Illuminating World sect, which is only supported by eternity. A few days ago at the Karma Peak, when you transformed into the divine beast Kuan Pung and tore apart the chaos domain of the Chaos Holy Man, you also tore apart most of the courage of the other saints and top forces. I can guarantee that your words in the divine wilderness world will be more effective than those of the Greater One Emperor, the Chaos Holy Man, and the Divine Elder of the Ancient Wilderness. Is it really possible? Of course, I can guarantee that, as long as you say the word, the Void Crystal will be delivered to our Sky Dome Sect station within 3 days. If you don't find it troublesome and personally make a trip, you should be able to get the Void Crystal of the Illuminating World sect by nightfall today. After esteemed Zhu Zhao finished speaking, he added with a smile, do you know what kind of nickname you have in the Divine Wilderness? Sword Venerable Tsing Hui. Before Master Zhu Zhao spoke, Master Tsang Zhen had already said, Venerable as in Sword Principle Supreme. Although the title of Sword Venerable is mostly due to the Kuan Peng's incarnation, even without the Kuan Peng's incarnation, your attainments in Sword Principle make you a Supreme in the Divine Wilderness. Supreme in Sword Principle, Qing Su murmured to himself when he heard that. A while later, he shook his head. I wouldn't dare to call myself the sovereign of the way of the sword. Moreover, the extreme way of the sword that I practice all originates from the hidden sword Venerable. If we're talking about the true sovereign of the way of the sword, it should be the hidden sword Venerable. Don't flatter me. You deserve the title of Sword Venerable. Hidden Sword Venerable said with a smile, I think I have to change my name from now on. I'll just call myself Hidden Sword Sage, so as not to conflict with your title. Hidden Sword Venerable, you don't have to belittle yourself. In fact, with your ultimate sword principle attainments, it's most appropriate to call yourself Hidden Sword Master. Hidden Sword Master, Sword Venerable Tsing Hui. I remember that Tsing Hui is the Supreme Elder of the Hidden Sword Sect. With 2 sages in one sect, the Hidden Sword Sect can be called a top sword sect in the Divine Wilderness. Purple Sky Sage interrupted. That's right. A top sword sect. Because of Tsing Hui, it can even be called the #1 sword sect in the world. Tsing Hui shook his head and stopped chatting with Master Tsang Zhen. Master Zhu Zhao and the others. I'll send an incarnation to the Illuminating World sect. Although it might be a little weak, I really don't want to wait any longer. Anxious to return home. Sing Hui's mood could be described as anxious to return home. He did not want to delay any longer. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.